Hello and welcome to our grand finale of the 5th edition of the Nigeria Women's Invitational Patricia Kambarami T20 Cup live here at the Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos. It's the clash of the Titans where the host team Nigeria will be locking horns with their biggest rivalries, the Rwanda Women's National Team. But before we go on with the highly anticipated finals, let's find out what happened at the toss with the two captains and my mate Ajidaba. Lucky Piety winning the toss and they have decided to have a bat faster. The moment we've been waiting for is here. It's the East and West African Derby, which is about to get underway at the Tafawa Balewa Square in a few minutes. Winner takes home the trophy. Nigeria, of course, has won this edition twice, whereas Rwanda will be looking to win the Women's Invitational for the very second time, having won it 3 years ago. Let's have a look at the two sides. Rwanda, of course, have made one change. Giovannis makes way for the young Shakira Niyomuhoza, led by the captain Winyemala Diane, Alice Ikuzwe, Clarice Umutoni Uwase, Fanny Utakushima Ninde, Giselle Ishimwe, Ariete Teresa Ishimwe, Rosine Irera Uwase Merveille, Belize Melekatete Shimgamana Rosette, and Moza Shakira, of course. And of course, for the Nigerians, as I welcome Peter into the commentary box.
Still an unchanged side for the female Yellow Greens, Lucky Piety, alongside Adikula Ashola, Amusa Kende Muhibat, Christabel Chukunoye, Esther Sandy, Etim Sarah Query, Peace Usen, Salome Sunday, Anointed Unye Moza, Akigbe, Igbenidion, Sawe, Victory, Ude Lilian, and Egwagun Omosigo.
Of course, these two sides are facing off in this final. After 12 match days, we come into the last game of the tournament, the 5th edition. That's Patricia's husband, of course, there on your screens, alongside our match referee, Mr. Toyi Timinadi. Signs of respect, of course, as we see a lot of youngsters here in the crowd. Expect to see a lot of spectators coming in here at the Tafawa Balewa Square. All roads here in Lagos lead to this particular ground. Coming into this final, of course, Team Rwanda in their first semi-final, they were playing Zimbabwe under-19s, chasing down 133. Winning by 5 wickets, whereas the Nigerians chased down 66 against the South African 19s. So you expect to see these two sides giving us a good game this afternoon here at the TBS. Umpires making their way out there in the middle is none other than Kentu alongside Temitope Onikoyi, who is standing for the 50th time in T20 internationals.
Lovely big bow to watch As these two sides are very familiar with each other, in head-to-head, Rwanda have dominated. And so this is both sides looking for dominance. Nigeria looking to make it 3 in 4 finals, and Rwanda looking to tally with Nigeria's record for most Nigeria Women's Invitational trophies taken. It is going to be a long, much awaited and anticipated bout. I remember during the game against the South African under-19 and the Zimbabwe under-19, we were waiting so that this game can come up and we go all out, as this has been very much anticipated fixture.
Making their way to open the batting for the female yellow greens is none other than Kehinde Amusa, shot number 7, alongside Victory. No signs of Lucky Paiti, one of the players, of course, to watch out for in this particular first innings for the female yellow greens. It is, of course, the clash between a team ranked 25th in Rwanda and Nigeria ranked 26th. So far this year, they've played twice. I beg your pardon, they've played 2 games each aside, and Rwanda winning, of course, the first game they played against the female yellow greens, where, of course, they batted faster, scoring 90 runs, and Rwanda winning that with ease, chasing it in 15.4. Player of the match in that particular game was Ishimwe Ariete, one of the other players to watch out for in this tournament. A lot of things at stake are given, of course, the ranking points too. With the new ball in hand, and none other than Belize Murekatete will be opening the bowling for the Rwanda national side from the Court of Appeal end. She will be having a sleeping play in Rosine Irera, who's been very good in that particular slip cordon. She has a third man in play, and the deep extra cover for the 2 batters, Kehinde Amusa and Victory.
Yeah, no stones will be left unturned today, as both teams are fighting for more than just the trophy. They're fighting for bragging rights, and whoever comes on top will get that privilege of boasting of winning the first edition of the Patricia Kambarami Cup, which is the 5th edition of the NCF Women's Invitational. It appears Kandi Amusa will be on strike. She's had to come up with the top order on several occasions, coming in at the number 3 bowler, as well as in the top order of the batting. It just shows you just how efficient she is and reliable in both scenarios.
Right on the money from Belize Murekatete, pace owner. Rushing into that shot is Kehinde Amusa. They would love, of course, the runners to see Belize Murekatete making the inroads. That lead swing of the ball, Kehinde Amusa couldn't react in time. She had something in mind, the ball had another plans, and that is just an escape. And from Kehinde Amusa, good bowling to start off. They would love to use, of course, Peter, the conditions in their favor are the opening bowlers of Team Rwanda. Into the pads, works it on the onside, but no run taken, straight to the fielder at short leg.
The female yellow greens are having to lose that previous encounter while batting first, registering just 19 on the board. They know that they have to do much more than that. They've seen how this Rwanda side are compact and can play when not put on that pressure. And the last thing they want to do is make this game of any ease for the Rwandan side coming into the second inning.
With offered on the occasion as Kehinde and the female greens get off the mark.
Grenadian having come back into the squad after suffered a little bit of discomfort in the previous game and missed 2 back-to-back games for the female yellow greens. Played a very fantastic batters inning in the knockout round and the playoff rounds against the South Africa under-19, and she has cemented her return and has made it into the squad playing these finals. Much will be expected from everybody. Everyone has to put their A game on the table, all cards on deck.
Another dot ball there from Belize Murekatete, but again, it's going to be an interesting matchup for the Rwanda opening bowlers up against Victory and Amusa. The female yellow greens have used a lot of options at the top. We've seen Christabel opening. We saw the captain the other day opening the batting, and now Kehinde Amusa alongside Victory, who normally take their time to get going.
Seems like there was a little bit of shuffle in the run-up, and Belize is going to count it, and that gives Ibinidion enough time to take a breather and think about our next method of approach, given just how much string Belize has been putting in our balls, making the batters very uncomfortable.
Right on the money again from Belize Mrekatete. Very good bowling, you'd say, given that the previous game she bowled it all over the pitch, giving away a lot of extras in her very first over.
Enough time to take a breather and reconcentrate and think about how your games have been coming into this final. The swing in the balls have been consistent, and the Nigerian batters have not been able to deal with it, given the good length that the balls have been pitching on and the height it's coming. It is a very difficult ball to challenge once it's coming to you.
Talking about, of course, the sweep movement. Dianmi Menyamana, the captain, will be licking her fingers, given that she's been extracting a lot of swing coming in, of course, from the pavilion end with the breeze blowing towards the Indonesia. And with that dot ball, we come to the end of the first over of the grand finale. Scoreboard reading 1-0, Team Nigeria. It won't be the captain, as she's been given the ball to Rosin Irera. It's going to be spin coming in from the pavilion end, turning down all the music to the openers, Amusa Kehinde and Victory. She's had a habit of picking up wickets in her first spell. Let's have a look at her fielder. Expect to see a slip fielder in the captain. She has a deep square leg. And they have stuck again on having only one fielder outside the ring for Rosin Irera. No one a deep extra cover, given that Kehinde Amusa is very, very strong on the back footer, and she loves playing it through that cover region.
Yeah, Belize has started off very fine, only conceding 1 run, and remains to see if Rosin will complement her and keep those runs at bay. But she did, and also successfully drives it to the field at mid-off, bringing Igbenidion Victory on strike. Kehinde Amusa with a slow start, but still maintaining the wicket for the female Yellow Greens.
That would have been an easy boundary, you'd say. Starting off bowling a full toss, no protection at deep extra cover, ends up playing it straight to the fielder at mid-off. As they send Ishimwe Ariete at long on for Victory. Goes to the back foot, loud appeal, but this time round turned down by the umpire. Can't do. Quicker on that occasion from Rosin Irera. She has a lot of variation. Expect to see her bowling 6 different deliveries.
And 6 different, she's bowled 1 already, with the previous one being a full toss, so let's see what that ball could actually do. And up the second ball, you can see how confused and taken off guard Igbenidion was.
On that occasion, as she draws first blood, Victory looking to play it over the fielder at covers. She is livid with herself. She has to take a long way back to the dugout as they pick up their first is Team Rwanda.
There's a lot of stretch behind that short. They didn't play it in a comfortable region and just played the ball lackadaisically. Didn't really pick a direction to play it to, and that was the consequence. And she now goes off as Esther Sandy is maintaining odd number in the batting order, coming in at 1 down. Esther Sandy, we've seen being pushed down the pecking order towards the late middle order, and now she's coming quite early. A boost, I would say. She wasn't able to replicate the form in the previous match in knockout round, but certainly when the team needed someone to take their ground and try and put runs on the board. And there you look at that wicket again, just safe into the fielder at cover's arm, just walks in Alice and takes that catch easily. So back to what I was saying, Bob. Esther Sandy, what the one who helped this team put up that 90 against the Rwanda in the previous encounter, and now she needs to replicate that, given that, and expect all the batters, if they eventually will come in, will do their own bits.
On that occasion, Panista, she doesn't need any sighters, is Esther Sandy, one of the experienced players, taking a liking of that full toss of Rosin Irera. Spoke about not having a deep extra cover, and they pay the price. Fool
me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, that shame on you. And look at that ball coming full again. The previous one that Kehinde Amusan didn't really deal with. Esther Sandy had sent it to the boundary, and now there should be a little bit of field shifting, or either Rosin are just at bowling length so as not to be at that receiving end again.
Much better there from Rosin Irera.
Already 6 runs for the female Yellow Greens, 5 in this over. Off the back foot, Esther Sandy, and cuts it way beyond the reach of the fielder at covers. It's much power behind that shot.
A lovely shot again from Esther Sandy, with offered there from Rosin Irera without protection in the deeper. Pouncing on it is Esther Sandy as she picked up her second boundary. 9 runs coming off that over Rosin Irera. It's the end of the second, 10 for 1. Belize will be bowling a second ball, a very tight over. Went for only 1 run. Full again, but this time round, pierces the gap from covers. A lot of full tosses have been bowled so far from the opening bowlers of Team Rwanda, something they need to adjust as quickly as they can.
That ball was full, and Kehinde Amusan did really well in playing it into the offside, bringing Esther Sandy on strike this time around. They've done what should be needed, and that's put a fielder outside in the deep on the offside.
Pace on the occasion, Laura P from the wicketkeeper, but the umpire says not out either. Let's have a look at that again.
That short pitch, very consistent with the swing, Belize. That short pitch was what I think saved Esther Sandy. If that ball had stayed lower, it stride lower and towards the bat, that ball just going above the playing area and towards the bat grip, and that was the escape for Esther Sandy. Anyways, Belize, wonderful bowling, fantastic continuation, and hopefully she gets the reward that she deserves.
Very good signs for any pace bowler in the world. Run out chance on the occasion. Stand down, no the best of throws from the fielder in the deeper. Shimwe Andriete. Very good carry, you'd say there from Belize Mrekatete. Very good running between the wickets from Kehinde Amusan. She's very, very quick between the wickets. A little bit risky from Esther Sandy. She played that ball perfectly straight to the fielder. I'm not sure why they're in a hurry, having lost the first wicket.
Wanting to kill any form of desperation that might spring out later, as the runs are not really much at the moment, but certainly if the more balls, the lesser the balls are, the desperation will set in, and she is doing her own bit to kill it.
Down the leg side, says the umpire Onikoi Temitope. Again, when you look at the reason behind sending Esther Sandy is she's one of the batters in their first encounter against Team Rwanda who scored 30. She held forth for her side. One of the reasons they go to that 90. When you remove that 30 she scored against Team Rwanda, they would have scored 60 runs. So they would love her to build a partnership with Kehinde Amusan, the player of the year in 2025. Full again down the leg side, beats everyone including the wicketkeeper. A lot of extras are coming off for her. Second over is Belize Mrekatete.
The freebies are coming. That is the first freebie that she is given. Sorry, back-to-back extras by Belize. Something that she had actually started off on a good note, putting those swings on the off and middle stump line And now the balls are pitching way too short and directing towards leg side. It was very obvious that at that point, if the swings are taking much control, it will always divert to the leg.
Much better comeback there from Belize Mrekatete. But again, when you look at those two extras, every time she tries targeting the pads, she ends up, of course, bowling it down the leg side. Given, of course, the pace she possesses, when you look at that delivery, that half appeal from the wicketkeeper, I would love to see her sticking to that fourth stump or even top of off.
That last ball she bowled probably just for her to confirm that she is taking fate and will stick to a line that works best. No way that is an out. The batter had drifted out of the wicket line, and that ball, just too much swing behind that ball, was very obvious that it wasn't threatening the wicket, and Belize just appealed for their steady coup out of it. But regardless of that, she's been bowling very fantastic. The swings have been an impossible art for the batters, all the female yellow greens, to play, and good consistency from Belize. 2 extras, but it is no biggie.
Given, of course, Peter, the way she's been getting that in swingers, I would love to see the captain coming in from the other end, given that she's picked up 10 of the 11 wickets coming in from the pavilion end, given, of course, the breeze blowing all the way to the other side. 15 runs on board for the loss of 1 after 3. Already halfway stage of the power play. With no surprise on your screen, this is going to be the captain. She would love to bowl in these conditions. She's picked up 11 wickets in this tournament, always leading from the front.
Maimana loves to play against this female yellow-green side, picking up 2 wickets in their last encounter in bowling inning. So there is a low. Good start, I would say, by the female yellow-greens so far in this inning. As Sandy has come yet to get into double figures, but she's made sure that they've been able to put something on the board. In the first over, they were able to register 1 run, and before she came, it was at 3 runs. And since she's come, they've been able to put 12 more runs on the board in 1.4 overs since Esther Sandy has come on. That is an improvement. They can still do better, but so far, the run rate is on a reasonable level.
Again, Peter, when you look at the batting lineup of the female yellow greens, they have the likes of Lucky Paiti, Salome Sunday, who has haunted the Team Rwanda in the last couple of years. The likes of course, Christabel Chukwuonye and Adeshola Adekunle. I would love to see these two, Esther Sandy and Amusa Kehinde, trying to get to that 35-run mark without losing any other wicket in the power play. And maybe later on they can bat in the second gear. But for now, it's Diane Bimenyimana right on the money straight away. She has a sleeping play in Rosine Irera. And there's a third man. Interestingly for Diane, given that she shapes it away from the right-handers, I'm not sure why she doesn't have a deep extra cover fielder.
She's been bowling quite online. Bimenyimana Marie has been on that wicket line, forcing the batters too hard to play straight. And each time the ball hasn't been on that wicket line, it has swung in, and so forcing the batters to either pick the leg side or on a straight drive. And either of those shots have been inactive, as she's been maintaining the same line, same length, and ball has maintained the same height.
Swing and a miss from the young Kehinde Amusa. You would love to see more intent from Kehinde Amusa and Esther Sandy, who is already on 9 of 8. Can't afford to be eating up a lot of deliveries in the power play, given that there are only 2 fielders outside the ring. And more interestingly, Rwanda have only 1 fielder outside the ring. Gonna need to capitalize. Full on that occasion, another dot bowler.
4 balls, 4 dots for Marie Bimenyimana. Kehinde Amusa hasn't really clicked yet. In the last game, she bowled 4 over and gave out just 12 runs. And so far, she will look to continue on that stride. She's been one of the most effective bowlers and looking for that wicket to take her on top of the bowling chart.
Make that 5 dot balls. That's what the captain brings to the table for the Rwanda women's national team. Expect to see some false shot there from Kehinda Musa. We all know the dot ball pressure. As she removes one of the fielders from the cover region, straight to short leg. Expect to see her targeting the pads is the captain, Dialmi Menyimana. Etatulo on the occasion. She starts off with the maiden. Is the captain, Dialmi Menyimana. 15 for 1 after 4. Sharing the cherry with the captain, Dialmi Menyimana, the vice captain, of course. Shot number 50. She's not had the best of tournaments with the ball in hand, but we all know the player of her caliber. She loves big games. She loves playing against the female yellow greens. Is Ariete Ishimwe. She was the player of the match in the previous encounter in the group stage, of course. With that little cameo over 32 to get over that 90 inside 15.4 overs. They would love to see her bring out her A game in this grand finale. She has a third man and deep extra cover. Hard hands on the occasion, who falls short at the fielder at mid-offer. Threatening straight away is Ariete Ishimwe. Drawing, of course, all the length. The love pace on at the female yellow greens.
Freebies are coming. The female yellow greens will welcome any way the runs come, be it a freebie or off the bat, or even if it is a buy. But right now, the runs are really, really low with the projected score of 21-7. They really need to start finding the gaps. It's becoming more difficult now. There have been no short play, just hard hand contact with the ball, and that is not a directing shot. You just need to find your space and play into the gaps. Right now, they are just punching the balls, and there's not enough power behind those punches to pierce into those gaps.
Very good bowling, you'd say, and good fielding. In the eye this time round, up and over the fielder at short mid-wicket. Should be looking for the second as the fielder gives it a chase. Is Giselle Ishimwe, but in vain as she picks up yet another boundary. She moves into double figures. Is Esther Sandy. Bring out all the experience she possesses into the pads. Works it on the onside.
That ball was all for the taking to the leg side. Was coming on that leg and off to the pitch. And the best thing to do was just be exploring. There's been a lot of field offside settings and not too many balls have been put to that leg side. The opportunity came for that explosive and the dynamite detonated all the way to the boundary. A big boost for the female yellow greens it is.
Another good shot, a little bit of a fumble there from Diane at covers, allowing these two to scamper for a quick run. I love the intention from Esther Sandy. Trying to rotate the strike. Already into 14 of 12. This is exactly what we would love to see from your opening batters. Using, of course, the field restrictions in her favor.
Amusa Muhibat Kende hasn't been able to really make contact with the ball, and there are too many drop balls for such a limited over of play. We saw that in the first game where Nicolette was killing too many balls, faced 50 balls and only contributing 18 runs. So she was taking a lot of time in the batting crease and preventing all the batters from coming to take charge. And the more dots she gets, the more desperate the team will be for runs, and that is exactly what Rwanda wants.
Having faced, of course, 13 balls for her 3 runs, looking like she's batting for the opposition side here, Peter. 21 for 1 after 5, her last 6 deliveries in the power play. How many more can they add? They are moving at 4.2 runs and over at the female yellow greens. They won the toss. They decided to have a bat first. Dianu Menywana yet to pick up a wicket. She's picked up 97 T20 international wickets. She would love, of course, to get to that 100 wickets, especially in this game. She's been the pick of the bowlers in this tournament with 11 wickets alongside Peace Hussein for the female Yellow Greens. The only difference is the economy. Started off with the maiden. She'll come, of course, to close off the power play. She has a third man in play. No deep extra cover. Again, only one fielder outside the ring for Dianu Menyimana. Up against Esther Sandy, who has already picked up 3 boundaries. Into the pads, white signaled by the umpire, Kentu.
Finally, a run has been considered in and over of Maribi Menyimana in this match. And who else gave it to them for free? Last 6 balls she bowled was to Kande Amusa Muhiba, who couldn't take herself off that batting crease. And Esther Sandy is the person in line. This time around, Esther Sandy finds the gap. A fielding error, but good backup by the fielder at mid-off.
I don't think the Rwandans would mind this single from Esther Sandy, given that Takahinde Amusa, on the other hand, she's looked to be struggling.
It is the plan. It has always been the plan. Keep Kande Amusa on strike and keep the runs as low as possible.
Was that an edge on that one? It looks like it. Diani is livid with herself, telling her wicketkeeper batter, Uwose Merveille, you gotta take those ones. But it looks like the umpire signal leg buys. Rushed her is Uwose Merveille.
The swing balls coming to our disadvantage this time. If that ball was straighter, probably would have gone to be stumps. But that late swing of that ball, nicking the pad of Kande Amusa and going towards the boundary ropes, was a big boost. Amusa Kande hasn't really taken that back yet. 15 balls she's faced already. That's 5 times more balls than runs she's added to the team's total.
Not the best of outing from Kehinde Amusa. You won't be surprised if you see her being retired out. Something, of course, the female Yellow Greens have been doing. We saw them the other day against the young South African side retiring. Christabel Chukwonye into the pads. This time around, run out chance. Direct hit. Hits the bullseye, but the umpire says he's not out. Very good fielding effort from Ishimwe Henrietta. I would love to see that on the replay. That looked very, very close.
You can tell that the Rwandans are not really sad about it. They're just sad about the fact that it's Esther Sandy who will go on strike. She has been the difficult player for them at the moment. Amusa finally can bring a sign of relief and take herself off strike and hopefully prevent Mari Bimeimana from getting more dot balls.
A lot of changes in the ground from the Rwanda women's national team as they bring a short fine leg for Esther Sandy, who is already on 15. Full works it on the onside. A lot of work to be done by Ishimwe Ariete, who does a very good job saving our team a couple of runs.
Hard contact has been what mostly Esther Sandy has been playing in terms of meeting those balls coming to the wicket. She has not really been playing with a stroke, and I think that is one of the reasons why she's not successfully found her gaps and I read him like she would want to.
Into the pads, but this time round there's a fielder at short mid wicket as we come to the end of the power play. It is 27 for 1. Moving at 4.5 runs and over is Team Nigeria.
Of the also Court of Appeal and 6 runs so far she's given. And as the Sandy will start on strike for the third time. Kande Amusa hasn't really contributed much to the team's total run score. 17 balls and only 4 runs added, with Esther Piety scoring 4 times the runs that Kande Amusa has. And Kande Amusa was with the opening pair of Igbenidion and she herself. Big punch this time pays off as it beats the fielder on covers. Good employment of the long off. And Esther Sandy is off strike for the dotting Kande Amusa. Sheun Ajidagwa, welcome to the commentators box once again.
Thank you very much. Henriette Shimwe was among the 3 bowlers who took the most wickets in 2024. And she has the best bowling figures at this tournament. In 2024, 3 players were on 10 wickets. Janet Kowa, Alice Fili, both from Sierra Leone, and of course Henriette Shimwe. But this tournament has not been too good for her, especially with the ball. But she was the player of the match against Nigeria when they won by 6 wickets some days ago.
Beautifully driven by Esther Sandy to the boundary ropes. Caught it in between the gap. At backward point was not employed and she took advantage of that. And this time the contact was intentional and the boundary was the result. Into that gap, into that empty field slot, and 4 more runs for the female Yellow Greens.
In the game against Rwanda, Esther Sandy was the best batter, scoring 36 runs from 31 balls, which included 2 fours, but she's had more than that today. These two need to sort themselves out when it comes to proper communication. The last time out against South Africa, Esther Sandy and Kehinde Muibata Musa did not communicate well. The reason Kehinde lost a wicket. Today again was almost looking like that.
The runs are still quite low with the projected score sitting at 97. That is 7 more than what the female Yellow Greens put on the board in the last encounter against this Rwanda side. Current roll rate at 4.86. But Esther Sandy is taking charge. On the leg side, that ball comes and the wide is the call. The last ball might delay a little longer. Anyway, the runs come. One more ball it is. One more ball is going to be for Henriette. She started off strong. And in this over, she's been a victim of circumstances. Dotted the last ball by Esther Sandy. It is the end of the 7th over. 34 was on the board. 1 wicket.
Esther Sandy, clearly the best batter. And see that bowling. Belize Murikatete, no wicket after 2 overs. Rosin Herrera has only bowled 1 over and has gotten 1 wicket, that of Victory Benedion. Bime Imana Mari Diane is still in search of a wicket today. 2 overs bowled, 9 dot balls and 4 runs. Henriette Shimwe has bowled 2 overs, 12 runs considered, no wickets.
taking the ball and coming from the pavilion end. It is none other than Alice Ikuzwe for the Rwandan ball fielding side. She's bowled in every match they've played coming into this final. Alice Ikuzwe, and only failed to get a wicket in 3 occasions. The most wickets she's picked up 4 wickets, 2 against the South Africa on the 19th side and 2 against the female Yellow Greens in the previous round of encounter.
Kehinde Amusa cutting a very, very frustrated figure in the batting crease by virtue of the balls she has faced in comparison to the runs she has scored. And he calls for Esther Sandy to meet up with her and tell her, free yourself, play your game, you are good at your craft. It was not a mistake that you are player of the year for 2025. The world is waiting for you to strut your stuff.
Run, 21 balls. His ball has been faced so far. And of this ball now, that makes it 22. She gave Marie Biaimana Diane our first maiden of this match. And now she's about to do the same in terms of gifting to Alice Ikuzwe. Still yet to take in a while. She hasn't gone beyond that 4 runs of 22 balls. Finally, 1 more run is added for the female Yellow Greens. Kehinde Amusa takes herself off strike, but Esther Sandy has to make do with just 1 ball left in the 8th over.
I just think that Amusa is putting a lot of pressure on herself. White ball declared by umpire Kehinde Olambiwonu, one of the finest umpires in Africa.
Esther Sandy on strike, 21 off 19. Alice Ikuzwe. First ball to Esther Sandy, and she finds the gap. But Deep X recovers, combats that ball, and Esther Sandy will start the next over on strike. A big boost for the female Yellow Green. Kehinde Amusa hasn't really been doing much with bat and ball, and Esther Sandy has come to complement that defect, putting 22 of 20 balls herself. It is 8 overs completed, 37 for 1.
The Nigerian team understand the brief that this Rwandan side have got squad depth when it comes to batting. From Captain Bimeimana Marie Diane, Gijeli Shimwe when she's in the mood, Fanny the youngster, though yet to light up this tournament after that first day. Umutoni Wase Clarisse, Mevilu Wase, Henriette Shimwe. They have squad depth, and Nigeria knows that anything short of a 140 will not be good enough a score. 8 overs gone, 2 more before we get to the drinks break. Esther Sandy facing.
Beautiful played over the infield as they had 1 more run. Good feet from Henriette, had long off to prevent any chance of a double run, and now the tactics to bring Kehinde Amusa on strike is working out for the Rwandans, always giving Esther Sandy that chance to not take more than a single and keeping Kehinde Amusa on strike. An attempt for a directly doesn't work out. That would have been the wicket of Kehinde Amusa for the 2nd time running. This time she is low-key as well as the female Yellow Greens. She hasn't really done much with the bat, but the last thing they want to do is lose another wicket as this game is almost to the middle point. Late turn from that ball into the bat of Esther Sandy. Would have lost the wicket, I'd say, as she gone ahead with that shot. as that ball's contact was the middle part of the bat. Good thinking, late reflex, and a safe wicket. Same ball, same reaction from Esther Sandy. Still caught off guard by Rosine with 2 consecutive balls. This time she's coming from the Court of Appeal and still doing the same thing she's been doing before, and that's restricting the batters to as very little runs as possible. Caught off the edge of the bat and into the leg side. Offside behind the wicket keeper. Esther Sandy will take 2 runs off that ball, and Kehinde Amusan will be happy being off strike at the moment.
I just hope that Kehinde plays up until the drinks break, where the coach, Ambassador Theophilus Ibodeme, can admonish her to play a game based on the talent she has. Free up yourself, play your game. You've got the talent. 9 overs gone, Nigeria on 41 runs for loss of 1 wicket. Esther Sandy on 100% strike rate has faced 25 balls, scored 25 runs. Kehinde Amusa, it's a sharp contrast. She's on 25% strike rate, has faced 24 balls and scored just 6. She needs to do better. 9 overs gone. The projected score is telling us 91 because their current run rate is at 4.56. They need to do something about it. And just maybe that drinks break would afford them the opportunity to listen to their coach.
And Alice Ikwize is coming from a pavilion end. Only 3 runs she gave in the previous over. And now she will try and add more runs to and try and limit the runs, given the fact that it is Amusa Kehinde Muhibat that is on strike, the batter that they've enjoyed to keep on that strike. Not making the right contact with the ball, the wrong energy.
Let me just quickly, sorry for cutting you loose. Kehinde Amusa is playing the wrong shots. And you can't be playing that kind of shots and get runs on the board. With this, you are setting yourself up for going back to meeting your teammates.
Bode is, after so long, it is a wicket on the 26th ball that Kehinde Amusa was facing. I'm sure the Rwandans are not happy about it, but they will celebrate the wicket either way. Kehinde Amusa has to go out now, having been the best person they've bowled to so far. Late timing and no footwork, and Kehinde Amusa didn't put herself in a position for making that ball. And it is, who else will come in if not their heroic captain Lucky Piety. For now, it is the drinks break where both teams can discuss, but Lucky Piety is the batter who will be going in place of Kehinde Amusa.
We are back from that drinks break. The fall of the wicket of Kehinde Muibat Amusa, which was long coming, eventually happened by virtue of the number of balls she faced and the number of runs. She was very, very uncomfortable all through. And Alice Ikuzwe got her wicket. And in comes the captain, Lucky Piety. A lot is rested upon her shoulder.
Welcome back. That wicket brought in Lucky Piety. In decision there. But good start for Piety, and she's on the mark now. This is a needed partnership for Nigeria. Lucky Piety and Esther Sandy, who's been in long enough, 25 of 25. And 2 balls taking us to the halfway mark of this innings. It is 42 for 2. Current run rate sitting at 4.3. This partnership will be that one to take Nigeria to that promised land, hopefully. But with Alice Ikuze bowling decent areas. And that one brings us to the end of the 10th over. The score is 40. The score is 42 for the loss of 2 wickets. This is where the captains knock and that partnership for you. Amusa Kehinde and Esther Sandy, 39 of 47 deliveries, with Amusa contributing just 4 from 22 deliveries. Big atmosphere here at the TBS Cricket Over, where we're witnessing the last game of the 5th edition of the Nigerian Women Invitational. It's been an amazing experience both on and off the pitch for the cricketers that have come from 4 different countries to join Nigeria, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Rwanda, Ghana, and host Nigeria have made this a thrilling encounter and series. Thanks to our sponsors, Providence Bank and Dafa Bets, Russo Advisory, that have made this possible. It's Belice. She goes big, really big. On the mark this time, Lucky Piety. Her trademark, what she's known for. And this is where the excitement of this game begins. Hopefully she can bat through the 10 overs. There again, on your screen, the slow motion, foolish delivery, and she goes big. See that hand-high coordination. Class art by any batter. And she's shown that consistency for Nigeria on several occasions. One of the finest batters Nigeria has produced in recent times. Lucky Piety. Short pitch delivery this time, didn't really get hold of that one. Belize will have to really think through on a line and length here. Murakatete, that's our surname. Players have come, they've seen, they've made friends, they've enjoyed the moment. But at the end of this day, the winner will be between these two. She wants it, no easy call. Okay, Piety there playing carefully. She knows how important her team's results depended on her or depends on her. And she's the captain, she knows it. She needs to work extremely hard here and create that needed partnership with Esther Sandy, who seems to be in form in recent times. Inside edge onto her pads. It's nearly, she's got to that pitch of delivery.
Belize Mudiketete coming from the Court of Appeal end. Yet to get a wicket, but bowling some decent lines. And after that 4 runs off her first ball. She's done well, but maybe I spoke too soon. That's additional 4 runs. Nigerians will need more of that. As signaled by the umpire. Umpire Temitope Oniko Ijabal. And talking about Temitope Oniko Ijabal, congratulations. While some are making their T20 debut international today, the likes of Cynthia Okegbo Ogochukwu, she's making her 50th T20 international. And 50 is up for Nigeria batting.
Brilliant dab there into that. Oh, what a mess. Unbelievable. Disappointing. Plenty of confidence there. Seems the young cricketers are now understanding what the game is all about. A fielder Jesse number 98, Rosette Shuamana. She knows it. She felt it and she saw the embarrassment. She was just calm there. Just that little bump there. Really can't blame her much. But she should have had the body behind the ball. Then she would have been more and more safer. It is 54 for the loss of 2 wickets after the 11th over. Lucky Paiti is still on strike. The skipper herself coming to take responsibility. Let's hope she can break that partnership. That is what captains do. They're ready to face the challenge. It will be skipper versus skipper. Diane versus, I beg your pardon, she'll be bowling to Esther Sandy, not Lucky Paiti. She's been very useful this series. She's taken a couple of wickets and got a couple of runs yesterday against Zim. Oh, brilliant push this time by Esther Sandy. Fielder at long off. And clearly they understand what is required. Getting off strike and building that temperament to ensure that partnership. And Lucky Paiti now on strike. And his skipper Diane Bimenimaya was bowling from the pavilion end of the TBS over. Short pitch, find a gap, brilliant cricketer. She is Lucky Paiti. Needed boundary more and more pitching up now. I'll tell you what, we have a big game in our hands. And this is going to be exciting moment. There again, short pitch and giving width there. She just guided it through that gap between point and backward of point.
For her teammates, all they will be hoping for is the fact that she's lucky in the batting crease. If she remains lucky in the batting crease and she bats all the way, then we have a game on our hand.
No is a call. Indecision here. Yes. A wicket for Rwanda. And Esther Sandy departs. This is a giveaway. Unnecessary. Disappointing. You can say that. It was a call, but there was some hesitation. There wasn't communication. And this was a clean pickup. Made life easy for Maria, the skipper. Again, she's made something happen when she picked up the ball. This is what she knows how to do. And it's Rwanda who are celebrating their 3rd wicket. Salome Sunday strolls in to join her captain.
She was good with the bat, Esther Sandy. See that again on replay. That cannot be the call of the non-striker. It was needless. But then they gave it away. She was batting very well. And the two in the batting crease playing all the way would have given Nigeria something very good. But it's what it is. Nigeria 59 for 3. And in comes Salome Sunday, who also likes to play Rwanda.
That one kept it hard low. Another dot. Skipper Bimeniana knowing how that should be. And she's been consistent in this tournament. Well flighted, brilliant bowling. Seems to be mixing things up here. And the pressure is up. It has to be now or never. And the skipper of Nigeria facing the last ball of the 12th over. In the air, just dropping short of the bowler, the fielder, and that brings us to the end of the 12th over. 59 for the loss of 3 wickets. That run out again, just indecision. She needed to get a nudge. She wanted the strike, but she didn't get it. Welcome Bob Sanga into the comes box again.
Thank you, Endurance. Thank you, Ajidaba. As we see Rosine Irera back into the attack, coming in from the Court of Appeal end. She's bowled her 2 overs so far. Went for 13, picked up a wicket. Up against the red-hotted Lucky Paiti, the captain. Once again trying to lead from the front alongside Salome Sunday. Right on the money is Rosine Irera. She has a deep mid-wicket, deep square leg, long off, long on. The 4 boundary riders. 59 for 3 after 12.1. Still moving under 5 runs and over. Endurance.
Plenty to play for here. That wicket, we hope doesn't hurt Nigeria. But overs are tickling away. No easy call. Skipper not wanting to take chances. Salome Sunday, 3 dot balls straight up.
And this is where Endurance it gets more interesting. They have lost the female yellow greens. One of the batters, of course, in Esther Sandy, running herself out, having gotten her eye in. For her 26 of 28, she would have loved, of course, to convert that into a big total. And now Salome Sunday joins in, finding Lucky Paiti, who's been striking boundaries with ease for her 17 of 13, coming off, of course, that knock of 66 against the South Africans, of 35 with 3 maximums. You'd love to see the likes of Salome Sunday with all the experience she has, not to eat up a lot of balls, try and get a single, let Lucky Paiti take the charge, as she's been doing. And now she's faced 5 deliveries and now allowing Lucky Paiti to face the overball of Rosine Irera. So expect to see a big shot here from Lucky Paiti.
This could be dangerous. That's what pressure does. Brilliant. Then now they have to start thinking how they have to approach spin. They can't deal in boundaries alone. It's end of the 13th over. Score reeling on 60 for 3. Sooner or later, the captain, Lucky Paiti, and Esther Sunday will have to build something great here for Nigeria. But Rwanda is in a good state at the moment. However, you can't take anything away from these 2 batters. But so far, Rwanda, but for a few boundaries, have looked really good.
These 2, of course, they love batting against the Rwandans. Is Salome Sunday and Lucky Paiti, as we see the introduction of the young Shimimana Rosetta, another spinner, given, of course, the way Rosine Irera was getting that patch out of the wicket. It was just a matter of time to see Diane giving the youngster the ball. Every time she's bowled in this tournament, she's made an impact. She just gave away a boundary here at the third man region. She would love to forget that, as she has 4 overs to bowl, given that 3 of the bowlers have already bowled 3 overs apiece.
We'll watch Salome Sunday in 6th dot ball.
Down the leg side. She has the field at deep square leg, deep mid wicket, long off, long on. The only boundary riders for Shimumana Rosette. Salome Salu is very good square the wicket. She's already faced 6 deliveries for her 1 run. Works it on the onside. Should be looking for the double at these 2, but this time round, the turn down the second run is Lucky Paiti and Salome Sunday.
She wants the strike. She has it. Lucky Paiti will have to think through an approach for this game. But so far, it's been Rwanda keeping Nigeria quiet.
Interesting field for Lucky Paiti, given that she scored most of her boundaries on the offside, where there's no protection apart from the field at long off. I would love to see. Had hands on the occasion. Should be an easy catch and taken. Spoke about her, Shimumana Rosette. Every time she's been given the ball, she's made an impact. And boy, oh boy, has she picked up the best wicket she will ever wish for. Lucky Paiti in the grand finale has to depart for her 17 of 15. Let's have a look at that again on the replay. It's the dot ball pressure, you'd say, from Salome Sunday.
Disappointing there, disappointing at leading edge, and would give Rwanda the crucial wicket of Lucky Paiti. Now Salome Sunday have to wear something big here and play from outside the box. We spoke about it yesterday in the batting lineup and how the early overs are crucial. And once that pressure is up, you cannot be lucky every time to come and score as quick as you want to keep the scoreboard ticking. That's too much pressure for the captain. We've seen it through this tournament. Out of 10, you will get 1. That wicket for you again, just there. And that's the leading edge that is given that wicket. And a very crucial one for that matter to Rwanda. Lucky Paiti depart. It's Christabel that joins Salome Sunday.
And when you look at that wicket, of course, as we see, Lucky Paiti, very, very livid with herself walking back. She's scored most of her runs on the offside. If it was ball to someone like Salome Sunday, that would have been an easy boundary on the leg side, allowing, of course, that bottom hand to come into play. Coming back to your point, Endurance, is that batting lineup that have been changing every single game for the female yellow greens. We've seen they have used close to 5 players at the top, which has not worked for them.
You know, we discussed it yesterday, 3 days, 4 days back, when Lucky Paiti came in and knocked the South Africans, winning that game. Brilliant shot, but no run on that one. You know, we spoke about it, that it's not going to happen every time, and this is it again. You have to find and make sure your top 5 batters bat in that first 10 overs. That way they have enough time, you are not under pressure. But the amount of balls sucked in by the openers certainly put pressure on the bench. And when the captain stepped in, she's in between keeping her wicket and getting on with it. And then that run out by Esther Sandy really didn't help. Those are the bowling figures for you. 3 wickets and a run out there. What interests me is the captain's bowling there with an economy rate of 3, and Alison Ikuze and Shimumana Rosette 2 on 2. This is where you have to think about just 11 extras. Take out those 11 extras, it would have been 51 runs on the board for the loss of 4 wickets. So many dot balls we can see. Hopefully we'll see it again, and we could count how many dot balls have come through in this innings.
For that is the young Rosine Irera, who will be finishing her spell. Had hands again in the air. Who wants it? The bowler herself.
Really soft dismissal. Really unnecessary. No pressure. But again, Salome Sunday now departs. When we thought she would be the one to carry this through, look at it. Flighted there, just standing there, opening up her leg and playing across the line. She should be playing through the line or pushing it straight. But again, we've seen again that plenty of work still needs to be done here. But it's Nigeria under the pumps here, 62 for 5 in 41, 14.1 overs.
But again, a lot of credit, endurance has to go to the captain, Dianmi Menyimana, who has rotated her bowlers to perfection. We saw earlier in the power play, of course, Belize Mercatete bowling 2, and Rosine Irera bowling 1 over that went for 9 runs and brought her back right after the power play, given that the field was spread. And boy, oh boy, has she picked up 2 crucial wickets. Is Rosine Irera coming in, of course, to finish her spell. She's gone for only 14 runs, picking up 2 in 3.1. Already half the side is back into the dugout for the female yellow greens. Left alone by the wicketkeeper batter, Sarah Etima. 2 new batters at the crease. Should be an interesting matchup here for the Rwandans. Hard hands again. Who falls short at the fielder at point.
One thing you need to consider again is the tactical awareness the Rwandans have brought in here. They know pace on bat will work for Nigeria. Taking the pace off it and being aided by the wicket here is something. Look at it. Every single ball is going on to hit the wicket and forcing the batter to play a shot. And so far, what we have seen is the amount of dot balls here in the first 5 and in the second 5 overs of this first innings. Creating that room ball straight to the fielder again.
Very good over here, turning out to be from Rosine Irera, yet to concede a run. Picked up a wicket from the very fast. Cut away powerfully this time round. Pierces the gap between covers and pointer. A lot of work to be done by Shakira Nyomhoza. They should be looking for the third of these two. Very good running between the wickets from Sarah Etim and Christabel Chukwonye as we come to the end of the 15th. A tidy spell there from Rosine Irera, once again leading from the front. 4 overs have gone for 17, picking up 2 wickets. Talking about, of course, the bowlers so far. Belize Mercatete has bowled 3. Rosine Irera, who just completed that spell. Dianwe Menyimana still has 1 over. Ariete Teresa Ishimwe, a little bit expensive, has gone for 6 runs in 2 overs. But that Alice Ukuzwe, 2 overs for 4 runs. She's going to be the insurance policy in the next couple of overs for the Rwandans.
53 dot balls so far. 53 dot balls in 120 balls. It's really, really difficult to come by. I hope the team learns from this, because this will be what breaks you as a team.
Those are 8 overs of dot balls, I'll tell you, endurance. Very suicidal, especially given that this is the grand finale. But again, you can't take away anything from the Rwandans who are still unbeaten coming into these finals. Shimamana Rosette once again comes in to bowl her second. She's always made an impact. Picked up 3 wickets in the first game. She's not played all the games. Rocks back on the back foot. Not enough timing. Straight to the fielder at short mid-wicket. You feel the pressure now is climbing for the female yellow greens. We've seen it's not a team that bats deep. Adeshula Adekula being the last recognized batter, padded, should be a sign of worry for the female yellow greens. Another dot ball.
55 again, but it is what it is. And perhaps some sweep shots, because she's turning it into the bat. The question is, if you haven't got those arrays of shots, and straight to the fielder, and pressure up, and pressure up, more and more pressure now. And for every dot balls, it just shows how difficult this will become. And clearly, Rwanda is becoming the dominant side here today. She's tried to hit everything hard, Sarah Etim, but haven't been able to hit things out of the square. It's 11 dot balls and 3 runs from that.
Once again, up and easy catch there from the wicketkeeper batter Uwase Merve. Make that 6 wickets. Second for the young Shimamana Rosette. As she closes off her second over with a big wicket over Sarah Etim, who has to take the long way back for her pedestrian knock, having faced 11 for 3 runs. trying to play it on the onside. Another leading edge, easy catch. You would feel for the Rwandans' endurance. They lost the toss, interestingly. I'm not sure this was the right call, given that now they have lost 6 wickets is the female Yellow Greens, and the first game, to be precise, they batted fast. They found themselves having scored only 90 runs, where Rwanda, of course, chased it down inside 15.4.
And Bob, we agreed, right? You win the toss, you bat. The question is, if you're going to have faced 57 dot balls in 16 overs, it shows, and in the first 5 overs, we saw more than 22 dot balls there by the openers. It's something that is going to affect your batting lineup anytime, any day. It puts your team and the bench under pressure to want to come in and get going.
A lot of young kids here, endurance, enjoying themselves. I'm not sure, though, who they are supporting at the moment, as the female Yellow Greens, the host nation, have found themselves right after the 16th over, having lost 6 big wickets. Ude Lillian, in no time, who is well known of her bowling, joins Christabel Chukwuonye yet to open her account. 66 runs on board. Alice Ikuzo is back into the attack. She won't give them a lot of pace to work with. Very dangerous bowler she has been in the last couple of years for her side, with the leg cutters and off cutters. Let's have a look at the field set they have for Christabel Chukwuonye and Ude Lillian. There's a deep extra cover, there's a long on, and a deep mid wicket. Interestingly, for Alice Ikuze, they have sent a third man in play. Normally, she doesn't bowl that pace that threatens her. Changing ends coming in from the Court of Appeal end.
Some contact on that one. No, it's not. The umpire there signals wide. Disappointed. Alice. She has to get up again and bowl. They're having a conversation. Again. Surprise. That look there. You can talk to the umpire. Just have to accept the decision. They had a conversation there. Inside edge, they would scramble for a single. Yes, they did.
But again, when you look at that single taken by the young Christabel Chukwuonye, exposing Lillian Ude, who's well known of her bowling. This is where the female Yellow Greens batting lineup, they've always missed the trick. We saw earlier Esther Sandy. That 26 would have been an easy 50 up front, but she allowed Kehinde Amusa to face all the deliveries. And now she bowls the dot ball straight away. They would love to tighten the screws at the Rwandans.
I don't agree less, Bob. Clearly, Nigeria is seeking all answers here. Playing across that one, down drifting into our paths.
I'm not sure what the young Christabel Chukwuonye is telling Lillian Ude. Why did you take that single? Exposing Lillian Ude. They don't mind Lillian Ude facing the Rwandans at the moment, who are really pumped up. Another dot ball. Pressure climbing, you would feel. They've not had the best days, of course, in the tournament, in the field, but they've made sure in this grand finale at the Rwandans, ticking all the boxes. Loud appeal on that occasion kept the tattoo low. Easy decisions from the umpire. Standing in a 50th T20 internationals, Temitope Onikoi, as they pick up their 7th wicket. It's that single that haunts the female yellow greens, exposing Lilian Ude, Christabel Chukwuonye. Very easy there from Alice Ikuzwe, keeping it down to the basics. Straight and full, no chance there from Lilian Ude, who was struggling as she has to take the long way back to the dugout.
Nigeria in all sorts of troubles. The 7th wicket down, 3 to go. 16.3 overs. More and more trouble. You can't ask for more than what we've seen. It's been an electrifying atmosphere here, but Nigerian cricketers are not giving their fans some happy moments.
"17 overs done. Rossetti is back into the attack. Works it on the onside. Starts off with a single again. Is Christabel Chukwuonye. Endurance.
She said no. No is the call again. Well, it's been a hard notch here.
Works it on the outside is Adekunle Shola. Looking for the second run-out opportunity. Not the best of throws from the young Shakira in the deep. As they pick up a double at these two. Keeping the scoreboard ticking straight away is Adekunle Shola and Christabel Chukwuonye. We all know, of course, the rivalry between these two sides. Anything close to that 3-digit mark, if they can get to 110, I'll tell you, Andres, we have a game on our hands.
Well, I don't know about that, but at the moment it's difficult to call. It's straight to the fielder again. No easy call. It's becoming very difficult to even get the ball off the square, and the pressure is up every now and then. It's good to see the pressure up. She goes across this time straight to the fielder at 45. It would be a single. More and more trouble here for Nigeria, even though they're scrambling to get out of it. 30 odd is a lot to get from here with just 14 deliveries left.
Much better line there from Ashimamana. Flighted delivery there, enticing delivery.
You see the difference in approach between the South Africans. They would go into the shot, into the line of the ball to play and look for those gap. Now she looks to go big, got a bit of contact, but it will just be a single. And smart cricketers here, the Rwandans, not wanting to throw the balls anywhere. And that brings us to the end of the 18th over with a score on 72. 12 deliveries left from this innings. Bowling cards there again. Mitsu for Shimawana, Rosette, Alice Ikuze.
Interesting to see who are going to bowl the last two. With no surprise, let's have a look at the batting chart of the female yellow greens. More over telephone number 60-2617-22303. Just add 2 plus 250. That's the telephone number I'll tell you with the code of Rwanda. That's how good the Rwandans have been in the first 18 overs. Penultimate over to be bowled by Alice Ikuzwe, who's been very, very stingy in her bowling. 3 overs have gone for only 5 runs, and she's picked up 2 wickets. She would love to close off this game as soon as possible. Let's have a look at the field set. They have a deep square leg.
It seems nothing whatsoever is making a decent contact today. Everything is gone to the fielders, in the air, on the ground. Nigerians will have to think about these last 11 balls. If we can get 15 She hits this one through the leg side now. Coming back for the second one. Brilliant running between the wicket. Better late than never. They all count eventually.
Feel like a deep mid wicket, long off, long on, and deep extra cover at the boundary riders. Taking her time to adjust her own field is Alice Ikuzwe. That's the experience she brings into the side. Full on occasion plays it on the onside, but this time round a very agile fielder she is. Belize Mlekatete denying them that quick single. Putting on a magical spell, you'd say there, from Alice Ikuzwe. 2 wickets for just 7 runs in 3.3. Hard hands on the occasion. Power is nothing without control, they say. Every time they've swung hard, they've picked the fielders. Christabel Chukwonye alongside Adekule Shola. An ultimate over turning out to be hard hands again, upish over the bowler's head. Should be targeting to pick up a double. Easy double, very good running from Adekule Shola. She's done her shuttles at the moment.
Not what you want to see, but everything there. You see Christabel working really hard. But again, just 6 of 13 balls. And clearly indicates that things haven't gone well so far. This time she goes on the leg side, deep mid wicket, slows down there. Is Adekunle. That ends the 19th over. Score now is on clearly 77 for 7.
Fantastic spell comes to an end from Alice Ikuzwe once again, leading from the front. 2 for 10 in her 4 overs. Bowling a tight penultimate over as we come into the last 6 deliveries of the first innings of our grand finale. The female Yellow Greens, having won the toss, they found themselves on 77 for 7 after 19. With no surprise, it's going to be the captain once again, Dianwi Menyimana, to bowl the last over, coming in from the pavilion end. She's rotated her bowlers to perfection, you'd say. I won't be surprised if she's named the captain of the team of the tournament is Dianwi Menyimana. The third man is inside the ring and the fine leg. That means that they have a long off, long on, deep extra cover and deep mid wicket. Those are the 4 boundary riders for Dianwi Menyimana. Last over up against Christabel Chukwonye, who's very good. Square the wicket. Starts off with a slow ball. Should be targeting 2 runs. Can they take on the arm of Ishimga Riete? Run out opportunity. And they'll set up for 2 runs. Good way to start the last over from these 2.
Hopefully they could make just another 10. Hopefully that can become useful eventually. But I'll tell you, the form of this Rwandan, anything less than 100 should not trouble them, unless Lilian Ude, Shola Adekunle will have to come to the party. She edges it, no is a call at this time. Unbelievable. Christabel will have to want it. 4 deliveries left, score is on 79. Run rate is 4 and over. Brilliant drive, but there's protection in the deep. It will just be a single. She wants a second, she didn't get it.
This is a very good outing, you'd say, for the Rwandans in the field. They leaked a lot of runs in the previous games, but they have managed to tick all the boxes. No fumbles, no misfields, apart from the young Shimamwana Rosette, who gave away a boundary to Lucky Paiti. But boy, oh boy, did she make it up for it, picking up 2 big wickets. Change of pace on the occasion, outfoxed by the captain, Dianwi Menyimana, is at the Kule Shola. Middle stump out of the ground. They need to look for a carpenter near here at the TBS to rearrange the middle stump. Make that 12 wickets in the tournament for the captain, Dianwi Menyimana.
The way she smiles She knew I have a plan. I execute. I get a result. This is what I'm trying to do. That smile on her face, and she's made life difficult for the Nigerians today. Her experience is sure counting in this tournament. Just look at her wicket again. And see the reaction after the wicket. There she goes, and then she turns and said, my job is done here. What a happy captain she would be. And that smile back, hopefully, will be enough to take this trophy to Kigali.
A little bit too early, I'll tell you, endurance to judge. We all know chasing these low totals can be a headache. 80 for 8 after 19.4. Peace Hussein joins Christabel Chukwuonye.
Like I said, let's hope it is.
It's the hope that kills.
The kills.
Last two deliveries from the captain. Knocks her over straight away in no time. She is on a hat-trick. Make that 13 wickets and 99 wickets in T20 internationals for the captain. Diana Bimenyimana, you beauty.
Will she get one more to make it 100?
One way to find out, but look at that delivery again. A dipping slow ball yorker. I'm not sure when she...
Anointed playing round that one. Beautiful moments. Happy days here. Really, really happy days for the skipper herself.
Fantastic bowling display all around for the Rwandans.
I'll tell you what, these are moments to cherish. That beauty, the skipper, she's so excited. Will it be a hat trick? She's on 99 international wickets.
But interestingly, yes, she is on a hat trick. There's no slip in play. Same field. Expect to see her going full and straight. Knocks her over!
100 wickets for her. What a hat trick. What a way to finish. The captain leading from the front. We spoke about it. It's happened.
What a way to get to 100 T20 international wickets from the captain with a hat-trick on the grand finale of the 5th edition of the Nigeria Women's Invitational Patricia Kambarami Cup. Look at that smile. It tells you a lot.
This is leadership. Leadership by example. Knowing how to do things. And she deserves this moment. Yesterday we spoke about Lillian Ude, 150 wicket. And to take 3 wickets, haven't been on 97. Made in what? Wickets. Congratulations to Maria. Amazing. That's the first ball of the hat trick.
That was the first, of course, a wicket there from the captain. Full and straight. She's hit that mirror stamp on 3 balls consecutively. Is the captain across the line again. Had to depart is the young Peace Hussein, who was tying with her with 11 wickets in the tournament. But of course, with those 3 wickets, she's now 3 wickets ahead of the young Peace Hussein as they have wrapped up the first innings, bowling out the female Yellow Greens to just 80 runs inside their 20 allotted overs. Esther Sandy was the pick of the batters, contributing 26 of 28, 17 from the captain, once again Lucky Paiti, and Christabel Chukwuonye, 10 of 17. But the captain, 3 wickets coming as a hat-trick, went for only 12 runs in her 4 overs. Rosine Irera, once again picking up wickets, 2 for 17. Alice Ikuzwe, 2 for 10 in her 4 overs to make sure Rwanda will need 81 if they are to make it 2 in this, of course, particular 5th edition. They've won this trophy before. They would want to pick up yet another trophy and take it back home. The Rwandans, they are still unbeaten in this 5th edition.
This will be a great one. While we come back to you with the second innings, enjoy the highlights.
Hello and welcome back for the chaser. The very last time the two umpires are walking out in the middle, Mr. Keintu and Temitope Onikoyi. Of course, earlier on, it's Team Nigeria who on the toss decided to have a bat faster. They've found themselves with a very good disciplined bowling attack of the Rwandans, bowling them out in their 20 overs for just 80 runs. Out there in the middle is going to be none other than Giselle Ishimwe alongside Afani Utakushima Ninde opening the batting for the Rwandans. Lilian Ude, with no surprise, will be opening the bowling for the female Yellow Greens. She has the third man in play and a deep extra cover. Given the way the wicket was standing square, you would have expected to see the likes of Peace Hussein opening the bowling, or even Adekule Shola to see if they can pick up early wickets. But they've decided to go with a lady with 6 for 7, the best bowling figures for Lilian Ude against Team Rwanda back in Kwibuka Tournament 2024. Should love to bowl a magical spell for her side up against the red-hotted Giselle Ishimwe, who put on a show of her own. Made sure in yesterday's first semi-final, Rwanda were sitting on 54 right after the 5th over. Should love, of course, to capitalize and put on a replica of that innings. Taking matters into our own hands. It's not the youngster opening to face the fast delivery. Fast ball. Here we go, Lilian Ude into the pitch outside off stump as they get off the mark in style.
This is almost an impossible task for the bowling. In the previous game, 90 all out, they couldn't defend it. It is just a matter of time before this same team, this same Rwanda women, get to that total of 81. Because if you look at it realistically, Bob, what you need now is 80 of 119 balls, and the moment boundaries start to come, those runs tick down even faster. At this point, it is going to take more than just the bowler's ability. It's going to take technique and skill that they've never used before to seal this victory against a very combatable and dependable Rwandan side who have at least 5 reliable batters.
Lovely shot there from Afani Utakushima Ninde. But straight to the fielder at mid-offer. Very good player she's been. Made her debut in this particular tournament. Put on, of course, in the very first game, a record-breaking knock. One that will go down in the records books. That 100, being the youngest to score 100 on debut.
Lilian so far has been doing her bit, but we do know that when the opening bowling partnership of Lilian Ude and Peace Hussein completes their overs, that is where the runs start to come from the complementing bowlers, and that is what Rwanda will play. Their tactics worked in the first inning, keeping Kende Amusa on strike for most of the balls before the wicket started to fall. And this time, they'll wait for that opening bowling partnership of Lilian Ude and Peace Hussein to break, and then any bowler that comes in, they feed off of that, finding the boundaries and taking these runs to the maximum.
They will need to bowl their hearts out at the female Yellow Greens. Given that, of course, the Rwandans have chased twice in this tournament. They chased down 90 runs against the female Yellow Greens the other day, inside 15.4 overs. They bring in a slip. Full of that occasion again, hard hands from Afani Utakushima Ninde.
Good over bowl so far by Lilian Ude, but it's still the Rwanda who are in complete domination. They have all the time in the world to select shots and play safe. This is more like an ODI feeling as it stands for the Rwandan batters, given how low the runs are and how just easily chaseable is in the long run. That ball's up in the air and not catch opportunity was missed by Loki Piety. That ball landed. That ball went in the air and just sat there. What goes up certainly did come down, and there was no nest in the hands of Loki Piety.
Let's have a look at that again. Hard hands on the occasion from the young Fani Utakushima Ninde. Not the best of communications from the captain herself. Communicating on 2 different networks. As she's been given life is Fani
Fanny hasn't had the best of tournaments. If you look at it, since that century that she scored, she's really struggled to break in and contributing runs with the bat for the team. But she's gotten another life. Remains to see if she'll use that life to the maximum or it is just another chance at keeping the runs at minimized. And then to the first over, 2 runs on the board for no wickets lost.
Fast over done and dusted as we see Anointed Akibe being trusted by the captain to bowl the second over from the pavilion end. She's not had the best of tournaments. Went for 13 runs in the very first game against Team Rwanda. But again, when you're coming back to your point, yes, they have a lot of deliveries, of course, to face chase down that 79 runs. Given the way their coach, Leonard Namburo, is very aggressive, and given that he is very, very hungry for this trophy, expect to see the likes of Giselle Ishimwe getting those runs in the power play and being aggressive.
The decision to keep Peace Hussein a little bit longer in the bowling order seems to have taken everybody by surprise, as we know just how compatible she and the bowling of Lilian Ude has been in terms of keeping the runs. But what I think the female Yellow Greens coach Theophilus wants to do is try and see just where Peace Hussein might need to come in and not exhaust the over, given they have just 8 overs between them of 20.
Another good shot from the youngster Fanny, straight to the fielder at mid-on now, but they keep the scoreboard ticking. It's those slight mistakes that can cost you the game. We saw their batting lineup in the last couple of games, and now Peace Hussein, who's picked up in the 11 wickets, 8 of them, she's picked them up in the power play.
Anointed Akibe off to a good start so far. She's had one of the most expensive bowling overs for the female Yellow Green, but so far she's been entrusted with the ball, and I do not think she's disappointing at the moment.
Swing and a miss there from Giselle Ishimwe. The intent is clear from her. She looks to be very, very positive. They have a deep extra cover for Giselle Ishimwe and Fanny Utagushima Ninde and a third man.
Still yet to pick up her wicket. The game against Rwanda is the only game that she's not picked up a wicket in her 4 bowling innings. Good stop by Lilian Ude at mid-off. The female Yellow Greens doing everything possible to try and take this game to the very end, even though at the moment it seems like Rwanda are in control. But we do know that they get to a point where the game would be balanced. I mean to see if the female Yellow Greens can't take the game all the way into that stage, or the batting attack finds those gaps and then restore the control to the Rwandan side.
Wickets in the power play and dot balls will make this game very, very interesting. Mind games there. First up from Giselle Ishimwe.
One run too far. In 4 balls bowled, 3 in total for the Rwanda. Slow. They are taking their strides regardless of the required run rate. Beautifully driven, front foot straight back to the bowler. Nice walk from Anointed Akigbe to keep that ball down. If that ball had been Anointed Akigbe, if you look at that shot, that ball was certainly going in between the gap, especially when you consider the distance of the mid-on and the mid-off. Good stop by the bowler herself, and she's always doing her part in helping the team stay afloat.
Absolutely, very good bowling and good fielding, you'd say, in the first 1.5 overs. Touch and go, nowhere to go, says the fielder at cover region at the Kule Shola, as we come to the end of the second. 3-0 Team Rwanda. Lilian Ude, no signs of Peace Hussein as Ude will be bowling at second. Deep extra cover and the third man sticking to the same field for Giselle and Fanny. Very good two players down the ground. They've gotten their eye in, you would say, having struck, of course, those couple of shots straight to the fielders. But the good thing about those shots, I'll tell you, they came out of the sweet spot of their blade. It's just a matter of time to pierce those gaps. She sticks to having a slip in play is Lilian Ude. Works it on the onside from Fanny Utakushimaninde. A lot of work to be done in the deeper. But that chase will be in vain as she breaks the shackles is Fanny Utakushimaninde. Just spoke about how they have gotten their eye in. And now it looks like they're going to be batting in another gear. Targeting the pads again. And no fielder at the fine leg. Very risky. And she pays the price.
Now, as long as those boundaries keep ticking, the runs are going to keep plummeting. And all cards will be on the decks of the Rwandan batters. Right now, that is the first boundary of a couple more we'll be seeing as this game progresses. It is almost impossible. The only way to get this game is by taking out all 10 wickets. But as far as taking this game to the very end, it is out of question for the female yellow greens.
Into the picture from Lilian Ude, hot hands from the young fan Utakushimaninde. But the sound coming off her bat, it tells you a thing or two. Gotta make sure you pick up a wicket as soon as possible at the female yellow greens to stand a chance. I'll tell you, Peter, they have a very good batting lineup given that Giovanni Smith is out in this particular fixture. They brought in Shakira Niyomuhoza to strengthening their batting lineup. They have the likes of Clarice Mutonuwase, the captain who picked up form at the right time in the first semi-final in yesterday's game for her 34 or 41 deliveries. And the likes of Merveille Uwase, Ariete Ishimwe, the player of the match, up. Drop shot at the fielder at mid-offer. Run out opportunity, but this time round she doesn't go with the throw is Salome Sande. Picking up form at the right time, the captain Dianwe Menyimana and Ariete Teresa Ishimwe, the player of the match in their previous encounter in the group stage with the 7 boundaries. Player of the match. So you'd feel they need to bowl in the right channels and create pressure. Full on the occasion again. No timing whatsoever from the young fan Utakushimaninde.
This game is going to go. Honestly, there's a lot of work to be done for the female yellow green. Just outside of this tournament, there were a lot of calls that were unnecessary in terms of the batting order, and that has cost them dearly. We expected more of a bout in this finals, and so far, the Rwandans have been a team with better consistency.
Very good comeback from Lilian Ude. She went for a boundary from the very fast bowler, but she's come back strong with 4 dot balls back to back. Last ball to come, 7 runs on board.
Just wide off. If Fanny had made contact with that ball, he was certainly piercing the gap. But lucky for Lilian Ude, it was a dot ball of the last ball of the third over. It's 7 for nothing.
Anointed Akibe has been brought back to bowl her second. Again, no signs of any spin from the female yellow greens.
They had a good first over, giving out only 1 run. And she started this time around with a freebie. It is another boundary, and the first boundary of Anointed Akibe is over. Already into double figures in runs for the Rwanda side. 4 more runs.
Look at that again, targeting the pads again. Got something from her blade is Giselle Ishimwe. Of course, with the pace she's bowling at, allowing the ball to go all the way to the boundary. Again, bowling that pace without a fielder at fine leg. given that she's not had the best of tournaments, she's been bowling it all over the pitch. Very suicidal, you'd say. They are from Anointed Akibe. She has a deep extra cover. You'd always want her to target that fourth stamper, where she has 5 fielders on the offside. She has a backward point covers and mid off, and a deep extra cover.
Late reaction. If that contact was met, that ball. 3 chances now they've had the chance to pierce the gap, but the contact hasn't been at the right angle, and Nigeria are surviving our basket. They've not been really consistent on the line, and have been trying to be adventurous, and I understand the concept of that, not repeating balls, but at this stage they really need to find a line and length and maintain it at all costs.
Plays it very late, but we'll go straight to the fielder at points. They don't mind these dot balls having, of course, gotten a boundary from the very first ball of a second. The rate is within the reach for the Rwandans. Moving at 3.1, they need 4.24 moving forward.
A first extra, and it's coming from Anointed Akigbe, giving out 5. Well, she's been doing aside that boundary and the run in the previous over. She's had a lot of top balls, bowling 9 balls and giving out only and getting 7 dots in the process. And now she's giving out another ball, another run. She's making the job really easy. And now the Rwandan batters are at a 30 ball advantage in terms of run needed.
Into the pads, but the umpire says that was missing leg stamp. Let's have a look at that. Again, targeting the pads. Very good decision from Makento, the umpire.
Ten balls already and 8 dots. It's been very impressive by Anointed Akigbe. She's only giving out half the runs that have come out. Oh, not too impressive. We've seen the best of Chukno here, Christabel. I think the match tension is getting the best out of her. That was an easy stop that beat her and gave the Rwanda a chance for a quick single.
But again, credit again to Fanny Utakushimaninde. That awareness, she was already halfway, allowing, of course, Giselle Ishime to release some pressure, having faced, of course, 5 deliveries. She would love to capitalize, is the young Fanny Utakushimaninde, having faced 12 for her 6 runs. Last ball. Lovely shot. But again, finds the fielder at mid-off. We'll go down as a dot ball as we come to the end of the 4th, 13 for naught. Peace Hussein is being given the cherry. 11 wickets in the tournament. Coming in, you'd feel these two have gotten their eye in. There's no deep extra cover fielder. They have a long gone and deep mid wicket for Giselle Ishime and Fanny Utakushimaninde. Interesting field set here, given that they are strong on the offside, these two. Gotta make sure she bowls it in the right channel. We saw in the first innings that the spinners wrecking havoc. Into the pad straight away, a loud appeal, but the umpire says not out. Threatening from the very first ball is the young Peace Hussein.
She stayed long enough, at least now that we've come to an understanding that the Nigerians have 3 reliable bowlers at the moment to help them in this battle. that will have to hold on a little bit. Beautifully shuffled and met with by Gazelle. Another boundary over the infield settings. Salome Sunday, who was at mid-off, could not even be anywhere close to that ball, given the distance and height it was above her.
Very good shot. Took a little shimmy, picked the ball on the full into the vacant long off region for a very, very much near boundary. She can be very dangerous. Once she decides to take on a bowler, is Giselle Ishime, who is already into double figures. Still adjusting their field is the female yellow greens. They don't have a lot of runs to work with, I'll tell you, Peter. 64 to get in 94 balls. As they bring in long on inside the ring, sending long offer. Not a bad move.
This match is going to be first catch, and who else if not the informed Christabel Chukwunoye, who has been very active at that point and on the field settings. Gazelle very, very unlucky trying to play the spin.
Spoke about how the wicket is standing square. Took a little shimmy against the turn. You cannot keep her out of action. Is Peace Hussein and Christabel Chukwunoye in the field as they pick up their first. Giselle Ishimwe has to depart for her 10 over 14 deliveries. Out comes the captain, Diani Menyimana.
And now the Uwells will come in if not Marie Diana Bimeimana. It's been consistent at coming in at that one down, putting up a staggering performance and picking up form at the right time. She's not really been clicking for most of this tournament and even before now. But just when the team needed somebody who can take that mantle, the leader took that leadership role, and that will be much, much needed in this very serious encounter. Spin bowler to in-swing bowler. It is Marie Diani.
Went past her highest score in yesterday's semi-final over 26 here in Nigeria.
And there's still a score to settle. Bimeimana taking the wicket of Peace Hussein in the first inning. And Peace Hussein will look to return the favor, but we'll have to wait a little bit longer as Marie Diani takes herself off strike without stroke to the mid-off.
Oh, that's a very good confident shot from the captain down the ground. Two more deliveries to come from Peace Hussein. A little bit expensive. Knocks her over straight away. Make that 13 wickets for the young Peace Hussein as Fanny Utagushima Ninde has to depart. 2 wickets in the over. It was just a matter of time to see the female greens giving her a ball in hand.
As it looks right now, it looks like that bowler might be decided by economy. That decision to go to the leg side for that ball, which was outside of off initially, and Fanny, the youngster, taking a hold of a perfection. She's been calm, she's been rhythmic, and now she has to go out. At some point in this tournament, for the first 5 match days, Fanny was on top of the batting chart, and now after today's fixture, she is now third in terms of runs scored. And coming in will be Clarice, the informed batter, one of the informed batters for the Rwandan side. Clarice is still yet to get into the batting column of batters with 100, but currently she is on 93 in 5 innings, with the highest in this tournament coming against the South African under-19, batting 26 of 21 balls. And now this is the final where she will look to replicate that feat. Rwanda at an advantage, but when you come to calculate the number of balls left and runs required, but Nigeria already getting into the wickets can look to return the favor and end this game by dismantling the wickets of all Rwandan batters. Mind you, Rwanda are the only team in this competition to have played all 5 innings without having to see all their wickets fall out. They played all 20 overs of their batting innings. The only team So I've done that in this edition of the Women's T20 Invitational Tournament. In the air goes Clarice, attack off the first attempt, and just one bounce will take her off strike. Salome Sunday at long off did a very good job in keeping that ball in the circle. 1 run to end the 5th over. It is 19 on the board after 2 wickets. 62 is now what is needed of the next 90 balls.
Great commentary from Peter and Bob, and great to be back for the much anticipated second innings after 5 overs. Rwanda requires 62 in 90 balls. Kehinde Muibat Amusa didn't do anything with the bat. Faced 24 balls, scored 5 runs. But with the ball, a lot is expected from her. Umotoniwase Clarice survived the scare in that previous over of Peace Hussein, who has now equaled Bimeimana Mari Diani. But she still has an opportunity to bowl and probably emerge as the highest wicket taker at this tournament. 2 balls, 2 dots. She has to replicate what she did in the first innings of the bowling of Bimeimana Mari Diani, the captain of the side, who also got a maiden. And coincidentally, Diani is batting. She's on 100% strike rate after facing 1 ball and scoring 1 run. Nigeria know they didn't score too many runs, and so they are fighting for their life. They want to make Rwanda work for it.
More and more pressure here, but game is on. 19 for 2 after 5.5. Anything can happen. This is cricket. We've seen situations like this before. Not new to them. It will be magical to see Nigeria come from this to clinch victory, but anything can happen. Big shot, and this will pierce through the gap. Will it go all the way? Yes, the chase is on, slowing down, but it is a deserving boundary for Clarice. That was struck off the back foot. A brilliant show in that field. Miscommunicated there. She found the gap. That brings us to the end of the 6th over. Score now is 23 for the loss of 2 wickets. 58 runs required from 84 balls. With 8 wickets in hand, Rwanda look poised for this one. The batting scorecard so far, it is Gisele Ishinwe 10 of 14. And presently, the skipper and Clarice are forging that needed partnership. 4 boundaries so far from this innings. Bimemenaya, the skipper herself, on 100% strike rate.
And coincidentally, an opportunity for Peace Hussein to go above the lady who is looking more like a stumbling block or a competitor, you can call her. If she gets 1 more wicket, then she becomes the best bowler at this tournament. Sensible batting there from Captain Bimeimana Mari Diani, who had best batting performance in Nigeria against the Zimbabwean under-19 cricket team in that semi-final game. She survived the scare in the previous over. Umutoniwase Clarice, an opportunity again for Peace Hussein. A missed chance there, and one is almost trying to become two. And you can see on the look of Peace Hussein, not very happy. That was a close shave. The wicketkeeper missing what looked like an opportunity. Better line from Pitusen to Diani.
Couple of interesting deliveries here, but real test here. Diani knows how important this innings will be for our team. She's been a decent all-rounder. Flighted, big shot, but not interested whatsoever. And on pitching just outside leg stump. She kneels for the drive, for the sweep, but she didn't get hold of it. The more dot balls the ball here, the better. No run that yet. Coach Leonard will be happy presently. He's been very, very consistent with this Rwandan women's team. She will get a single mid-on and comes into play. That clearly defines the end of the 7th over. Score on 26 for 2.
The current run rate is at 3.71, and what is required is 4.23. And see Nigeria again after 2 overs. Lilian Ude yet to get a wicket. Anointed Ozemoya Igbe after 2 overs yet to get a wicket. Peace Hussein has bowled 2 overs, 7 dot balls, 8 runs, 2 wickets to her credit. And Kehinde has bowled 1 over, yet to get a wicket. She's back again at the pavilion end into the 8th over. Lovely piece of fielding there. That was a close shave for Clarice. But there is clarity in how things panned out. The reason she will continue to bat. 2 balls, 2 dots. Coincidentally bowling to the same person who got a maiden offer. But slowly and surely, the captain is taking things, and they say singles win matches. And when you look at it, that what they require as runs and the balls are not equatable, then you want to say that things are working in their favor and there is no point rushing it. She will be bowling now to Clarice, the left-hand batter. A run-out chance, but opportunity missed there. And they continue to tick the box. Nigeria know that for them to win this game, two things have to work for them. It's either they continue to give balls that will make Rwanda dots and put pressure on them, or better still, work by getting the wickets. The swing and the miss.
And this will be an interesting finish. The game we have in our hands. And clearly, Nigerians are really working extremely hard to make this interesting. Nehemiah will have to walk through this. She swung and missed a couple of times. It brings us to the end of the 8th over. It is 28 for 2. 53 runs required now off 72 deliveries. Things continue to shape up this way in that partnership between Diane and Clarisse. We'll have to find something for Rwandans, not just in Lagos, but those back home following this encounter. Peace Hussein, 2 for 8.
Bowling figures are very impressive from this youngster. An opportunity to get one more wicket and move up and pull away as the wicket up there. That was another opportunity. And you can see that again. Captain Lucky Piety alongside Salome Sunday, who had decided to give Clarisse another life, having an indecision in between them, but more importantly from Lucky Piety. She will continue to bat. Diane has faced 11 balls and scored just 4 runs.
More dot balls here. She's working really hard pace. She's been consistent. She knows it. She wants all the support and the luck she can get. She's just been dotting away. Chances created but not taken. Twice. More and more dot balls here. The end, wondering what is happening. It's how the wicket has played the whole day in Rwanda. And coaching. Flighted, she goes big, straight to the fielder. More pressure now. How quiet things have become. That's the story of this tournament. And today, South Africa that dominated against Zimbabwe earlier this morning. She comes down the wicket and shimmies it. And sure, got the fielder and deep long on involved. That's a single from that delivery. Clarisse will now take one more from Peace Hussein.
I'm sure the Nigerian fielders will want this wicket so badly. By virtue of what she has been doing, making them change ends. And that's what left-hand batters do. 9 overs gone, 30 runs on board. 31 for loss of 2 wickets. See that partnership, Gijeli Shimwe and Fanny Utagushina-Ninde. 17 runs from 27 balls. Bime Imana married Diane and Fanny just 1 run from 2 balls. And currently Bime Imana married Diane and Clarisse Mutoniwase 25 balls they faced, they scored 13 runs. Fanny has not given the performance that we saw from the first day. And clearly, we have our best batter of the tournament, and that is beloved Biza.
More and more pressure here to the 10th over. Dotting away, Nigeria trying to make a game of this. Low total, always difficult to come by. Current run rate sitting on 3. Required is 4.6, gradually climbing. The question is, how many dot balls will these two face before they explode? And will Nigeria take the chances when they do offer them? She goes big, but protection in the deep. It will just be a single. This is brilliant field placement here. Amusa versus the skipper, Diane.
Andy, she's come up big when called upon. She delivered against Mika Van Vos in that super over. Can she deliver against Captain Bimeimana Maridian, who is taking things slowly?
More and more singles here. As long as Rwanda is rotating strike, there shouldn't be any issues. The only issues you would have is when you get bogged down with dot balls. We saw that from the first innings. You don't want to see that in this innings if you're a Rwandan. And for those following from Kigali, I can assure you the pressure is up here. And just keep hopes alive that the ladies from Kigali will just bat through this one. But the crowd and the fans here, the pressure. She goes big in the air and straight to the fielder. What a way to depart. Clarisse, she's been trying long enough. And it is Amusa who gets that much needed wicket for Nigeria. The score is 33 for the loss of 3 wickets. That's the replay again. Gentle, gentle. And goes straightly, a simple catch to the fielder. And we will do drinks.
33 for 3. And Nigeria will be hoping for a better performance when they get back from the drinks break. That wicket of Umutoniwase Clarisse gave back to the drinks break. And in comes the wicket keeper Wase Meville, who used to bat alongside Bime Imana. And the first thing she has to do after the drinks break is to have a taste of the bowling of Kehinde Amusa, who has got 2 good deliveries. Straight up, she understands the brief that dot balls would apply pressure on the team. We need to start scoring runs, knowing that we have wickets at hand. Bime Imana. Not needed at this period.
Clearly, Amusa disappointed with herself. You bowl it white ball, 1 run given. You repeat the same ball again. Loss of energy, loss of time, giving game away. In the air, but drop short, run out opportunity. Misses it. Clearly, that was nearly the end now. Under pressure to get going. That again in the replay. Just there in the air, dropping short. And that run out opportunity.
That was anointed. Ahigbe wanted to make up for not walking in to pick that ball and wanted a direct hit. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. Mayfield will continue to bat. She survives the scare. 10 overs gone. 35 for 3. They need 46 runs in 60 balls. Everything still within reach of Team Rwanda, who are here to taste a defeat at this tournament. Their current run rate is 3.50, and what they require is 4.60. Peace Hussein will be hoping that this final over of hers bears a positive fruit by claiming a wicket.
Plenty of questions there being asked. The umpire, Temi Tokwe Jabbar, not interested whatsoever. The Lord is at stake here. The pressure is on. The ball's gradually catching up with the runs. But this Rwandan side, they've got the quality. She goes for the sweep. And she will get that needed boundary. This is the risk we're talking about. Calculated one. And that is what Uwase has done. And again, replay right on the money. It's Hussein, the danger bowler for Nigeria. She's constantly been on the wicket log.
Melville took a calculated risk. If she had missed that ball, she knew she was going back to meet the teammates. She does the same thing again. They want to do too, but no is the call. Straight away, Melville understands the brief from coach Leonard Namburo and the assistant coach Adeline Tuizere to go in there, bat sensibly, play out the overs, and then bring home the game.
Just when it looks like the Rwandans were in control of this game, but up until that four, Nigerians had already started to gain momentum. Now look at the balls needed. At some point, there was a 30 ball gap between balls and runs needed. Right now, it's currently sitting at 16, and just a couple more dots, and maybe 1 or 2 more wickets for Nigeria could go on to win this game.
And you just asked a question and you have been answered. Bowled and caught by Peace Hussein, and congratulations, Peace Hussein, the best bowler at this tournament. Just like I'm congratulating beloved Biza as the best batter. See that again on replay. You were asking a question, she went for it, she knew what it was. And in her final over, she's delivering the goods.
And this is the first time in this tournament, in 5 batting innings prior to this match, that we're seeing Melville Uwase go out 4 less than double figures. That ball, that turn was not in the right placement. She had advanced, wanting to clear that ball into the gap on the offside. A late reaction saw that wicket drop.
And in comes the player of the match against Nigeria in that 6-wicket victory. Henriette Teres Ishimwe, proven batter. And at some point in time, if I recall, she used to be the vice captain of this team. She's been there, done that. You cannot mention top all-rounders in Africa, female, and you don't put the name of Henriette Ishimwe. In 2024, it was so competitive. Yes, Tanzania won.
Henriette Ishimwe was the highest scoring batter against these female yellow greens in the previous round of fixtures, scoring 32 runs off her bat. And now she's inside the batting crease and is going up against Peace Hussein. And she will look to continue and replicate that match-winning feat. Just pitching outside of the crease of Peace Hussein. Couldn't go low enough, as that would have been back-to-back wickets. But regardless, an end to the 11th over. There was that wicket, that chance again of that wicket. Just that late bounce saw the ball beat Peace Hussein. 42 is was on the board for 4 after 11 overs.
It was going to be difficult for Peace Hussein, going by the fact that Henriette Ishimwe played that shot into that very arm of hers that is not so strong. 39 runs required from 54 balls. And that's what Team Rwanda need to take the Patricia Kamparami Cup back to the city of 1,000 hills, and for Nigeria to keep this trophy here in the country. They need to ensure that they don't score that much runs. Adekunle Adeshola is coming for the very first time, and a lot is expected of her.
Henriette expecting a white call from the umpire, but the umpire sees that as a legal delivery. That leg break ball outside of off. Risky ball in that position, and Henriette gives her a chance at making amends. Couldn't pick that ball before the bounce, and that late pitch sees that ball not traveling beyond the bowler. Back-to-back thoughts. Nigerians are doing everything possible to bring down parity and reduce the runs being conceded. Sloppy pickup. I will see Rwanda add one more run to the board as the runs are going down. Quick run in between the wickets. It is so far the first run scored of the third over, and now Maimana Diane, she is still in there batting as it stands. Peace Hussein hasn't gotten her vengeance against Maimana.
Umpire Kehinde Olambiwonu, the standing umpire, assisted by Temitope Onikoyi Jabar, is making her 50th T20 international.
There are 2 bowlers currently right now who have a score to settle with 3 bowlers actually that have a score to settle will be Maimana Diane. It is the likes of Anointed Akigbe, Peace Hussein, and the currently bowling Adekunle Shola. Saved by through as that ball redirects to the offside behind the wicket keeper. A leg by as one more run adds to the board for the Rwandan batters.
And that has brought us to the end of the 12th over, that dot ball. And what you have, 44 for 4. And in my usual line, I've been looking for that line. 4-4-4 in figure of speech is a metaphor. 37 runs needed in 48 balls. Is still within reach of Team Rwanda. And of course, Nigeria could actually make a statement. (37 from 48). Who bowls the next over? That's the 13th over. And she's back again.
Now that the spinners have been taken off and they've gone back to pace, it remains to see if the female Yellow Greens have what it takes to see this game all the way to the very end. Not a very good comeback from Lilian Ude. A first ball of a third over is given as an extra, and she is helping the Rwandan side as they look to score as many runs as possible and end this game with the limited balls available.
The players understand the brief. They know they didn't score much runs. And one thing they can't do is either they make Team Rwanda continue to dot the balls and put pressure on them to force a shot or get their wicket. We are done with Peace Usen's over. We're done with Kende Muibat Amusa. Amusa still got one.
5 bowlers have been used so far. Gets the wicket of Henriette. It is Lilian Ude, and already 5 wickets out. And Rwanda now finally feeling the pressure for the first time in this tournament.
See that again on replay. We know what she can do. She delivers and gets that big wicket. The lady who won the player of the match against Nigeria have been sent back to the pavilion without doing so much. It's a sharp contrast to what we know of Emirates Ishimwe. And Nigeria know they need to start working with the wicket. See that again on replay. Clean ball.
Lilian Ude on a very good line. Swung that ball right off the arm and into the stumps it goes. And Henriette, who managed to play not out in the batting inning against the female Yellow Greens when they played in the first round of fixtures, and got, as they chased down 90, putting 91 on the board, she played not out. This time around, she did not even have a chance to balance and bat, and they've managed to send in Alice Ikizwe for a batting inning.
Alice Ikizwe comes in to replace Henriette Ishimwe. But we are into the penultimate over for Lilian Ude, who has just gotten her first wicket. Yesterday, she was tormentor-in-chief against the South African under-19 cricket team. And she just got her first wicket. I'm sure within herself, she doesn't want Alice Ikizwe to settle and maybe get the wicket of Alice Ikizwe. White ball. The second one delivered in this over. She knows she can't be giving wide. They need to work with the bat. Giving wide means you are giving freebies.
You can see how alive the Nigerian side is. You see, this game is within grasp, within their grab, and they'll do anything to see this game all the way into the very end. They've not used more than 5 bowlers, and they might go on to look to finish the game with just 5 bowlers, not trying to experiment. All 5 bowlers have done excellently well when given the ball, as no one has given out too many runs or had an expensive over. Everybody below a 5-run economy, with the Lilian currently on 3.60, Anointed on 3.50. Peace Hussein completed 4 overs on 4.50, Additional at only 2.0, and that's because she has only bowled 1 over so far. With subsequent overs bowled, we could see if that would go up or remain or even go even lower than it is currently. Amusa Kandi 3 overs and on 3.33. They've been very economical with the runs and making sure that this game goes on to the very end, even if the Rwanda side might eventually go on to pick the win.
Bimeimana Maridiane knows that desperate times call for desperate measure. Had to go and have a conversation with Alice Kuzwe. Much better bowling there from Lillian. And one more good ball to be bowled. And we'll come to the end of the 13th over. Wherever you are watching from, this game is alive. That's why they call it cricket. Not even Pythagoras, one of the best mathematicians, can break biscuits into 2 equal halves. We thought it was going to be a walk in the park for the 2022 champions. But now the 2023 champions are making them walk.
Tries to flick it to the leg side as they complete 1 run. Alice Kuzwe still yet to get a run. That was a leg by, but it will add to the team's total and it will end the 13th over. 48 is what's on the board for 5 wickets lost. Now the Rwanda women are needing 33 of the next 42 balls. That's 9 more ball advantage, 11 more ball advantage than runs needed. Coming in for our final over, it is going to be Kendi and Musa Muhibat. Also looking to take another wicket, giving out 10 runs in only 3 overs bowled. That has been very economical. 18 balls bowled and only 10 runs have been considered in that stead. 9 balls more than runs needed now, but it could still deplete as Nigeria seem to be in total control in the field setting.
Great running in between the wickets. Bimeimana wants to take responsibility. And she's up against Kehinde. And Kehinde can also avenge what happened in the first innings. At some point in time, she dotted the balls of Bimeimana, who has faced 21 balls and scored just 9 runs.
Lucky there from Amusa to Iba. That ball was close to being a wide. Just that reaction from Diani Bimeimana has saved Nigeria a scare. And now the runs needed are, it's just 8 balls have just an 8 ball advantage. And every time it does happens, those balls keep reducing, and we're this close to seeing runs and ball power.
You also have to commend the bowling side of Nigeria. The question is, when was the last time Team Rwanda got a boundary? And that is also very key in this game. I'm sure Peter will tell you when was the last time they got a boundary. Run out chance, run out opportunity missed. What was she doing? Butterfly fingers.
That run out chance again. Good running, fired the captain. 50 up for the Rwandans, and this is the slowest it is taking them to get into 50 runs. And you asked me a question earlier, and that was in the 11th over, where Uwase Mavil swept Peace Hussein to the leg side before getting out with a caught and bowled. And now they're running in between the wickets. The runs are currently at 30. They're needing 30 more runs of 37 balls. Kanye Musa looking to finish this over in a fantastic manner. Still currently sitting at 3.39 runs considered. Remains to see. The team will have to also put all hands on deck. Played hard. That doesn't beat the fielder at long gun. Big backup, put her body on the line. As Lucky Party, the skipper herself, making sure that ball doesn't travel too far. And it seems she is fine and will be fit to play. And then to the 14th over it is. It is 51 for 5. Now 30 runs is what is needed of the next 36 balls.
See that again. That's why they call captains commander-in-chief of the armed forces. They lead the troop on the field. They put their body behind. I'm sure when you have a sit-down conversation with Bob and, of course, Andy, they will tell you how they go into the batting crease or they go into field carrying the hopes of the entire country on the head. They need to deliver on the field. They need to deliver their teammates who sometimes can be erratic, and they need to deliver the country from embarrassment. All this weight is upon a captain. Give credit to them. And here comes Lucky Piety.
Captain goes to Alice Ikizwe. Good fielding. Nigerians are energetic at this point. It would not be a very good way to end a winning streak for the Rwanda at a time where they needed a winning streak to continue. It is looking like the Nigerians are in control. Salome Sunday at that mid-off. Nigerians have stuck to a tight fielding interface, with having only just a midfielder at deep mid-wicket and extra covers.
Four more good balls to be bowled. And we'll come to the end of the 15th over. Missed opportunity there. Sarah Etim needs to help the bowler. And the entire team.
Look at that ball just narrowly missing on that wicket. If that leg stump had gone off, it would have been an entirely whole new scenario that we'll be discussing right here. Flicks it to the leg side. The deep mid wicket fielder, he already in play. That is 2 runs, too much in that run, throwing to the wrong end. And the run started earlier from the non-striker's end. And the female yellow greens are looking to actually 4 more dot balls in this process.
See that again, you have to be mentally alert when you are fielding. And Esther Sandy wasn't looking up. That should have gone to the bowler's end, where that run-out chance was clear, but she came to the wicket-keeper's end, and that's what the pressure does to you. Great initiative from Captain Bimeyimana Maridiani.
Good applaud. This will probably be, if Nigeria go on to win this might be their lowest runs defended against this Rwanda side in the previous edition, in the 2023 edition, where the female yellow greens defended 100 runs against the same Rwanda side, restricting them to 67, and now they even have 20 runs less than they previously scored, and they have a lot of work to do if they will look to win this match.
Change of field setting. Esther Sandy has been changed from where she was fielding from, brought into a different place. Last good ball of this over. Captain's battle. Will Lucky Piety win this battle, or Bimeyimana Maridiani? She puts her body behind it. She knows that every dot ball is a pressure. And we have come to the end of the 15th over. 54 runs for loss of 5 wickets. They need 27 runs in 30 balls. This is the moment that is for big people. And so the duo of Peter Oladoshu and, of course, Shewaji Dagba will be standing up for Bob Bashir Songa and, of course, Endurance of Fame.
27 to get in the next 30 deliveries for Team Rwanda. The captain herself still out there struggling for her 12 of 29 alongside Alice Ikuzwe. A lot of credit to you, Taylor, for the female Yellow Greens who've done a tremendous job in the field. Not an easy task defending 80 runs in 120. They've managed to pick up 5 wickets, finding themselves on 54 is Team Rwanda. Adekule Adeshola is back into the attack. She is spinning it away, of course, from the right-hander, Alice Ikuzwe and Bimenyimana Diane. Starts off with the dot ball, more pressure to the Rwandans.
My brother Bob, you're from Rwanda, I'm from Nigeria, and they put us in this dugout to talk about this game. But interesting time here. I can imagine the pressure in Kigali and around the TBS cricket oval. It is 54 for 5 into the 16th over. Alice Ikuzwe, 3 of 9. The skipper is still there. She still have to lead Adekunle Shola.
Goes on the back footer. They keep the scoreboard ticking. More importantly are the Rwandans, led by the captain and Alice Ikuzwe.
My concern here is, as good as Adekunle Shola can be, if she gives that room on the offside, it will be dangerous. And the field placement, there is no protection at deep extra covers. No long on, no long off. Everyone in the ring. Beauty of a ball. The only fielder outside the ring is a wideish fine leg. And I'll tell you what, how risky can this be? This is risk taken by the captain of the Nigerian side, keeping everyone close. I would have thought you will leave one leg side fielder on the boundary just in case she connects. Brilliant piece of bowling here by Adekunle Shola. This is what pressure does to you. Bimenyimana understands what to do. The question is, how well can she wait to manipulate this field? Only one fielder outside the inner ring. Riggs, can you come down the line? Adekunle Shola is turning the ball big.
Oh, the wicket has been turning square, you would say, endurance. But again, when you look at the way she's been batting, one of the reasons that the spinners have dominated in this particular game, all the batters are still batting on the leg stump. She is spinning it away. And given the turn, you should try and shuffle across her, given that the LB won't be playing any match part.
Now it's 26 required from 25 balls. Game is closing in, but the boundary can turn things around again. We are going to see switches in momentum here. Pendulum, we can say it is, but Adekunle Shola for Nigeria.
Takes a little shimmy is Diane Bimenyimana. There's a fielder runner opportunity. Not the best of throws, but what a take there from the wicketkeeper batter. Sarah Etima had to stretch herself. We've come to the end of the 16th over. Interesting game we have here on our cards. Not the best of throws from Lilian Ude. Look at that stretch. She knew no one was backing her up. And to me, it has been the fielding from the female Yellow Greens. 56 for 5 after 16 overs. The equation is clear there on your screens. 25 to get in the next 24.
But again, like I always say, it's about one boundary or 2 wickets, and then the game would swing both ways. For sure, the pressure is up. Clearly, people here are gradually making a day out of cricket at the TBS Cricket Oval. This is what a final should be like. The Nigerians have bowled themselves into a near comfortable position. I'll say near because 2 boundaries would change the game here.
Something's got to give endurance. Paiti comes back to bowl her second. Starts off with wider. Unnecessarily done, you would say, from Lucky Paiti. She's got to be very, very careful given that there is no one at fine leg region. Anything that comes off the inside blade of Diane Bimenyimana would be an easy boundary. You cannot afford to give away a boundary at this particular stage of the game. Full wax it on the onside.
I won't be surprised if we find ourselves another super over.
You call the one, the first one, I'll tell you, endurance.
I'll tell you what, it is there for the take, but this game still looks like Rwanda's to win. But you just don't want to lose 2 quick wickets, and then you go deep into yourself again. Yes, it is another wicket. It is another wicket. Disappointing. This time it is Alice Ikuzwe who departs for 4 of 11 deliveries. It is 58 for the loss of 6 wickets from 16.2 overs. More and more pressure here.
Something had to give endurance. She took a little shimmy. One of the two batters had to go after Lucky Paiti across the line again. Very easy stamping there from Sarah. A team as they lose another wicket. The Rwandans. Shakira Niyomuhoza joins Dianu Menyimana. She came in, of course, as a batter, replacing Giovanni. Finds her side needing 23 of 22 balls. One thing for certain, this game can go down to the wire. Again, Lucky Paiti leading from the front. She's bowled out, of course, her best bowlers in Peace Hussein and Kehinde Amusa, and now she takes matters into her own hands. Bowling a second over and picking up a wicket of Alice Ikuzwe.
I must say, if I'm a Rwandan, it's not acceptable to be in this position, considering how well you've done in the first innings. Again, that delivery again, just coming down the wicket without a plan. And that's the difference. We saw the South Africans and Zimbabweans coming into the line of the ball to play that shot in the V, or creating another V between long on and mid-wicket. But again, you can't be drifting away.
Knocks us straight away. Look at the celebrations there from the captain, Lucky Paiti. Full and straight. She comes and goes. Is Shakira Niyomuhoza. More pressure to the Rwandans. What a gem of a player she is Lucky Paiti. 7 wickets down.
Big moments. Big moments are beginning to count here for the home side. That leg storm bowled over. I tell you what, that's the beauty of the atmosphere here at the TBS Cricket Over. But Rwandans have really done themselves in this one. But again, this is cricket. It's never over until it is over. But keep an eye on the balls left. 21 and 23 runs required, with 7 wickets lost, and 23 and 21. Lucky Paiti, the captain, might just be a player of the match performance here today for her with the ball.
Genuine all-rounder, you'd say there, Lucky Paiti. Belize Morekatete, who is not rabbit with bat in hand, joins the captain, who's been watching a lot of action from the other end. There's no one patrolling the offside, I beg your pardon, at long offer. She loves hitting it down the ground.
And this is where I will question captaincy. This is a battle of captains. Maria is there watching. She needs to take charge. And next over is crucial. She needs to want it. The trophy will not be given to you. You have to earn it. You have to go for it. And that's what Lucky Paiti is doing. She's putting everything behind it. Another wide ball. This is all pressure. This is what cricket is all about. From everywhere in the world, you know how important these moments are. Be it the IPL, the World Cup, any stage, the pressure is always on. How you carry yourself. Over 250 million Nigerians she's carrying on her shoulder. And then watching this way, will you let it slip? Let's watch. Big shout out. Another scare. Belize just freeing those arms. But what I haven't seen, Bob, I haven't seen the next batter knocking the ball around outside. You must want it. You can't just be seated because you're going to start from zero if the opportunity calls. Again, another dot ball, and that ends it over. 59 for 7 in 17 over. 18 deliveries left, 22 runs required.
And what a very beautiful over there from Lucky Paiti. 3 runs coming off that second over of hers and picking up 2 big wickets of Alice Ikuzwe and Shakira Niyomuhoza. 22 to get in the next 18. We have a game on our hands, given that the captain is still out there.
Another thing I liked is the confidence of Lucky Paiti. 2 days ago when I asked her, she said we have a good bowling side, and if we can keep things under 100, we can win games. Today, defending this low total, but I can't give it away here. 2 boundaries can turn things around. The field placement here is all attacking, but 1 fielder outside the ring, and it's a deep square leg.
Goes on one knee is Diane Bimenyimana. A lot of work to be done in the deeper. She's not the quickest between the wickets. Runner opportunity. And the finger is up by the umpire. Temitope Onikoyi. Look at that celebrations from the female yellow greens.
And look at the fans under the canopies. Everyone at TBS knows what this means. They know how close this is for them. The 5th edition, the trophy is nearby. Again, look at that. The replay, that throw from the boundary, everything was put in. And there, the hand had not gotten there. The dive in, and she departs. Very good decision by the umpire. Tough moments. Running between wickets was slow. The captain had done herself on this one. It is 59 for 8, 17.1 overs. Adekunle making it count here for Nigeria.
Should be the last nail in the coffin there for Team Rwanda. Ball way outside the stamper. Didn't get enough on it, but what a throw there from Kehinde Amusa. And again, sloppy there from Diane Bimenyimana, chipping in a dive a little bit too later. Easy decisions there from the umpire, Temitope Onikoyi. 8 wickets down in no time.
Temitope Onikoyi Jabar, she's standing in their 50th T20 eyes, and she's shown why she's important and good to do this job. And that is spot on decision in a pressured situation at home.
Talking about endurance pressure situation, that youngster Shimamana Rosette, she joins Belize Murekatete. I'm not sure she's ever faced this kind of situation. Apish and over the bowler's head, a runner opportunity. That fumble allows these two to scamper for a runner. Gotta be very, very careful given that Belize Murekatete, everything that comes off the blade, she's always running.
Look at that again. That was a catch that was dropped. In these situations, you don't leave those ones. I hope Adekunle does not blame herself later, but it's 8 wicket down. The pressure is up, 20 runs from 16 balls. Who wants it the most will get it. This is what this is all about. Again, the field placement there. Everyone, 1, 2, 3, 4 fielders outside the inner ring. One has to come in. They've got 5. They've got to be careful now. Yes, the deep mid wicket is running in. Brilliant captaincy here by Lucky Paite. Adekunle Shola, calm as ever. The dugout of Nigeria under pressure. Oh, what a ball, beauty. Spinning things away at any level. This is a class act. Watch it again, Bob.
And this is exactly what they've been missing at the Rwandans. Leg spinner spinning it away, trying to play against the turn. One of the reasons they've eaten up a lot of deliveries, including the captain herself, who had to depart, running herself out unnecessarily. Crucial over here from Adekunle Shola. She's not rabbit with bat in hand, is Belize Murekatete. They deploy a long offer for Belize Murekatete.
She has to be careful now. She needs to stay calm. Every single run now counts. You haven't won the game. It's just slippery. 1 boundary, 2 boundary. Things turn around. 19 or 15 balls required.
Boundary here would make things a more interesting endurance. They have a deep extra cover. Takes a little shimmy. Should pick up a single with ease. Allowing, of course, the youngster back on striker is Shimamana Rosette.
Not just the trophy here. Ranking points also count here. Every game between Nigeria, Ghana, Rwanda all come with ranking points. That's how important this is for the country.
And I agree with you, given that, of course, Rwanda is ranked 25th and Nigeria 26th. Goes for a big sweep shorter. But they don't take on the single at these two, Belize Murekatete and Shimamana Rosette. Tight game here we have.
It's unbelievable to see how things have turned out. With the quality Rwanda had, you would have thought it's a giveaway.
Told you how it's never easy chasing these small targets. In the air this time round, should be an easy catcher. And it is, of course, taken. Adding more salt into the wounds of the Rwandans is Adekunle Shola, playing it against the turn, and she has to depart is the young Shimamana Rosette. The pick up there, 9th wicket is the female yellow greens who are pumped there on your screens. Everything they've touched in the second innings has turned into gold for them. Look at the celebrations from the supporting staff. 1 wicket away for the female yellow greens. 18 runs to get endurance.
I'll tell you what, I'm a Nigerian. I love winning, but I'm really disappointed in the chase. As a batter, you always want to see runs. But the fans here, the board members here, the families here, everyone is excited about the performance of the female yellow greens today against this experienced Rwandan side.
Rosine Irera joins Belize Mrekatete, the last wicket, of course, over the young Shimumana against the turn, and she paid the price. Very easy catch there from Anointed Akibe. Lucky Paiti coming in to bowl her third, the penultimate over. Should love, of course, to be the bowler to pick up the last wicket. Full on the occasion from Lucky Paiti. Nearly takes the off stump out of the ground. Hard hands up, but this time round it will fall short to the fielder, covering a lot of ground from long on, allowing Rosina, beg your pardon, to have a taste of her own medicine. I'm not sure I remember the last time I saw Rosine Irera batting for the Rwanda women's national team. It shows you how that lady there on your screens has rotated their bowlers to perfection.
More and more dot balls here. The pressure clearly soaking in. 17 from 9 balls. It's unbelievable how the Nigerian side could put such an amazing performance. But clearly in front of the home fans, the Rwandans thought they had this bowled beautifully. But the skipper herself leading the pack. A hat trick at the end. Nigerians throwing everything at it this time. This is very good performance by the Nigerian side, proving almost impossible at this time. With the last wicket in hand. A lot of thanks to our sponsors, Dafabet, Providus Bank, Russo Advisory. She goes big, but there's protection in the deep. This is very good cricket run out opportunity and missed. The 2 runs taken there. Now they will run everything. Ricks will be taken. Belize and Rosette carrying the hopes of Rwandans on their shoulders. And clearly, happy moments for Nigerians, keeping their cool. 14 runs in 7 balls. They've played themselves into an unbelievable situation from where they come from. But the question again and answer is, would who wants it more? Swings and misses that one. Brilliant captaincy here, Lucky Paiti. 14 of last 6 balls. 1 wicket in hand for Rwanda. Who wants it the more? We've seen cricket in these situations. We've seen surprises before time. We've seen tailenders slog themselves into a comfortable position. Will it happen now? Who bowls the last over for Nigeria?
No surprise, of course, it's going to be Adekule Shola. Needing, of course, 4 boundaries to stand a chance at the Rwandans. Rosine Irera and Belize Murekatete. What a game we've had here. What a final we've had. At some stage, you would have felt that 80 was par. But the female yellow greens have put on a show with the ball in hand. The fielding was spot on. They made sure the Rwandans, and every single run. I don't remember the last time they had a boundary. Adekula to bowl the last. The whole field is inside. Cut away powerfully, but what an effort again. Saving our team 2 runs is Esther Sandy there at point.
You have to be extremely careful. 5 balls, 12 runs is not too far. You have to really be careful. You have to be consistent. Adekunle bowled beautifully well. She has to stay consistent. Don't give that room, no width. There's no protection around backward of point, boundary area. And she's turning the ball away from the batter.
The only way they can win this is within boundaries. Look at that turn again from Adekunle Shola. Squared up is Rosine Irera.
Character here from the Nigerian bowlers. You can't take anything away from them. They've come this far, they want it, and it's looking like they will get it. Unless you have that name Carlos Braithwaite in your team. Half chance there, run out opportunity, a single taken, 11 from 3 deliveries.
They will need 3 boundaries. Endurance is Team Rwanda.
What a low scoring final this has become.
Turning out to be another record in the Women's Invitational Tournament here in Nigeria. The lowest total to be defended was 90.
Can your camera show celebrations?
3 more deliveries. Belize Mrekatete. They need 3 boundaries, Endurance. They have a long on and a deep mid wicket. The only 2 fielders outside the boundary ropes. Shows you the confidence from the female yellow greens.
Brilliant work. Brilliant work. You could see what I love most is whenever there is an opportunity, 2-3 fielders go behind the ball, giving the fielder a chance for a run out. You see the wicket keeper there, Sarah Etim. She's been brilliant around the wicket today. 2 deliveries left. You can call this one in now.
6 at the boundary. Still possible. Endurance.
No Carlos Braithwaite.
Rosine Irera. And that should be it for the female yellow greens as Team Rwanda will need 10 of the last delivery. They have been outfoxed, outplayed, outsmarted by the female yellow greens, defending 80 odd runs in 20 overs. The celebrations are on there. You see the dugout of the female yellow greens, led by the coach himself. What a game, what a final we've had. Last ball, here we go.
And that's it for Nigeria. Unbelievable. Winning this by 10 runs is unbelievable time, low totals. These are fans as the president of Nigerian cricket, believing he knows he's happy, he's invested, and the results are showing. We can see clearly that is Mr. Kambarani here. This tournament played in honor of his wife. Big win for Nigeria. Bob, what do you make of this moment? I know it is a tough time for Rwandans back home, but this team have worked extremely hard. They bowled beautifully, and they've gotten a day here.
Tell you, Endurance, the celebration tells you a thing or two. The female yellow greens, of course, came into this final having lost the game against Team Rwanda, chasing down 90 odd runs inside 15.4 overs. But this time round, they have outplayed, outfoxed with, of course, the leading wicket taker, Peace Hussein, once again picking up 3 wickets. There you have it, the match summary of the grand finale of the 5th edition of the Nigeria Invitational Women's Patricia Kambarami Cup. 80 all out in their 20 overs. A very good knock there from Esther Sandy, 26 off 28, 17 from Lucky Paiti, once again contributing with the bat of 15. 10 at the back end was the difference in the game from Christabel Chukwuonye. 3 wickets picked by the captain, a hat-trick as she moved to 100 T20 wickets. Rosini there again, 2 for 17 in her 4 overs. 2 wickets from Alice Ikuzwe for 10 in 4 overs. And of course, with the chase, Rwanda 71. 15 from 35 from the captain once again. Giselle 10 of 14. Clarice Umutoni was a 9 of 14. That scoreboard that tells you a thing or two. Peace Hussein, the leading wicket taker, 3 of 18 in her 4 overs. And a very good contribution from Lucky Paiti. Should be the player of the match of this final, if I'm not mistaken. Ude Lilian once again picking up a wicket for 9 in her 3 overs. Nigeria defending 80 runs, winning by 9 runs. Do not go anywhere as you do enjoy some of the highlights. We'll be back shortly with the post-match presentation award.
Good evening and welcome to the post-match presentation of the 5th Nigeria Cricket Federation Women's T20 Invitational Tournament, the Patricia Kambarami Cup. We just saw Team Nigeria roll back the years and do what they did back in 2023, defeating their opponent Team Rwanda by 9 runs in a very, very entertaining fixture. At this juncture, I will now invite the captain of Team Rwanda, Bimeimana Maridiani. Diani, the very first time you're going to be losing a game at this competition. What went wrong?
We didn't. We lost this game because of the poor batting. We didn't do like the way we normally did, so we lost it with the bat.
Was it a case of the runs, 80 runs? It should be smooth sailing. Maybe some level of confidence on the part of your team going into that second innings, or it was just one of those bad days?
We didn't do like any overconfidence. It just didn't go our way.
I wish you all the best in subsequent games.
Thank you.
Well, you just heard from Bimeimana Maridiane. She has never been in this position speaking first. She has always come second to speak by virtue of her winning. At this juncture, I will now call on the winning captain of Nigeria, who was very lucky today, Lucky Piety. Lucky Piety, I must say, this is the lowest total Nigeria ever defended against Rwanda. Haven't batted in the first innings, scoring that 80 runs. What was running through your head going into the second innings?
It's sorry.
I can understand the ecstasy that comes with it.
So cricket is a game of mindset, and we felt like if it was so hard on that ground for us to put up a good run, definitely what went wrong can't go wrong. But having said that, they batted really, really well. That's a very, very good side. But we just stuck to our plan. I mean, we had the mindset of 9 golden balls while they were chasing 80. So I felt like the whole team just stuck with that plan and were able to pull that.
Piety, you lost against this team by 6 wickets on Tuesday, March 24, 2026. Did that bring out that beast in you people?
Like I said, we are not beasts. We are cricketers, but today just happened to be one of the good days where cricket Nigeria is going to celebrate, and I'm glad everyone is celebrating.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
All right, you just heard from Lucky Piety, who was very lucky today. You have to say they did excellently well. They ensured that Team Rwanda did not score any boundary after 11.3 overs. Now I'll call on the player of the match. She was third time lucky, and she became the first player to win the player of the match thrice. She's Peaceful Peace. Her name is Peace Usen. 3 wickets for 18 runs in 4 overs. And to help me make that presentation has to be Mr. Ernest Elue, Head Strategy and Business Development at Providence Bank, the people who are the headline sponsor of this competition. Congratulations once again, Peace Usen, and Mr. Ernest Elue will be helping with that presentation. Peaceful Peace, 3-time lucky. You became the first player at this tournament to win player of the match thrice, and you also became the highest wicket taker for a player who represented Nigeria at the African Games, becoming the 5th most valuable player. What more can I say? The diminutive Peaceful Peace destroying people. How excited are you winning the player of the match?
Very excited.
Did you ever have any doubts in your mind that your team was not going to win after playing 80 runs in the first over?
There was no doubt before the game. We had no doubts. No, we will win the game, so we try to fight and do our best.
What message do you have for your teammates who backed you up?
Thank you, and I really appreciate it.
Congratulations once again. Thank you very much. You can go. And that's the lady who won the player of the match 3 times. For the presentation of the trophy to the winning captain, I will now invite Mr. President, who is over the moon, the best federation president in 2025, Dr. Uyosa Nosawaru Akpata, President, Nigeria Cricket Federation, to please step forward. And of course, this is the Patricia Kambarami Cup, the former ICC Africa Development Officer. But it's fitting enough that Mr. President will be inviting someone. Who are you inviting, sir?
Mr. Kambarami, please, I'm just too emotional. This is not the time for speeches. Hopefully when we have the formal dinner. But is here to play a major role. He supported Patricia in terms of her first family, as it were, supporting cricket in Africa, particularly female associates. So it's befitting that we name this trophy after her, and I think he deserves more than anybody else to support Patricia, because Patricia is looking at us now, smiling and saying, I saw this all the time. So please come forward. Also, the representative of Providence Bank. Providence Bank are major sponsors for this event, believed in us, believed in female. So together we'll present this trophy, and so that you make the major presentation.
All right, the trophy will now be handed over to Mr. Ernest Elue, who will then give it to the husband of the former ICC Africa Development Officer, Mama Africa. Mr. Bobby Kambarami will be presenting the trophy now to the lucky one, Lucky Piety.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't normally like to give speeches or to say too many words. The cricket I saw today, even my wife, who is sleeping somewhere, is very grateful. It was a mighty, mighty competition. Yes. Rwanda, you played very well. That was a brilliant match, and you could have actually easily won. But the Nigerians just edged you because they had one or two things on their sleeves. But regardless of who won or who didn't win, both teams played brilliantly, and I would like to thank them all. The next thing I would like to say is that her dream, my wife's dream, all along, was that she would have loved to see several teams in the ICC T20 or whatever, long games, sitting there. And what I've seen today and what I've seen in the few days I've been here have really proven to me that Nigeria, Rwanda, South Africa is already there, and possibly Zimbabwe are going to be there. We want to see Africa take over the game. That's the nature of the game. So I thank you all for being here to witness this wonderful occasion. Thank you.
Congratulations, Lucky Piety. Please step forward and receive the trophy on behalf of your teammates. Ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria are champions once again. They are champions in 2023. And now, 2026 champions.